Hi, this is Jonathan Tiersten from the Perfect House and Sleepaway Camp, and you are listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con 2014 and beyond. I am Ryan. As always, I run this show. I run the universe. I'm here all by myself this week, so buckle in for 2 hours of greatness.
Oh, shit, yeah, I don't have to be here anymore.
Piss off.
Ryan's going to do it himself.
I don't have to do any work. Awesome.
Piss off.
Oh, this is great.
Introduce yourself, guys. Assholes.
I'm James.
I'm Brad.
I'm Zach.
Oh, hi, Zach.
Hey, Zach. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm slowly becoming a recurring character.
Nice.
It's kind of like when what was his face? It's not Alec. Oh, it's when Will Arnett slowly became a more recurring character on 30 Rock. I'm just kind of playing my seeds there, you know.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay.
If you're interested in seeing the Real Nerds really soon, you can see us at Anime Land Wasabi. We'll be there the Saturday, which is, I think, March 1st. March 1st is a Saturday. But you can go there all weekend long. February 28th through March 2nd at the Denver International Airport Crown Plaza Hotel. Right off Tower Road. Right?
That's a cool place.
Sounds like you're making this up the way you're saying it.
I know. I can't think right now.
It's because he's been doing it like every week for 8 weeks, and this is the first time he's doing it like just off the top of his head. Yeah.
I can't hear anything out of these headphones, James. You're driving me crazy.
I know.
You had one job. You can't even do that right.
My one job is to let you hear things out of a headphone.
Yeah, and you didn't do it right, you dick.
You'll see what my one job is.
If you're wondering what the Real Nerds do besides going to cons, we see a new movie every week, and we podcast our experience. Like stupid day. And we podcast our experience.
Should we
to the
start
world.
over?
Man,
Ryan, did you get stoned?
No, I guess. This week we went and saw the Lego movie. Did it build up to our expectations? Stay tuned for the review.
I see
now
what you
he's
did
on
there.
fire.
Puntastic.
Yes. We also talk about movies we've been watching through the week, movies that are coming out on Blu-ray and DVD, box office numbers, movie news, which should be really happy this week. And we also have a comic book corner. Let's talk about let's unspool real news so James can get his fucking sad shit out of the way.
What? Oh, like it's my fault?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
You let him out of rehab too early.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Unspool the real news.
All right.
It's real news.
So, on a happy note, the Alamo Drafthouse is expanding in Denver.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
they're going to build, and we had heard this from some of our waitresses who let us in on the
We
inside
do
scoop,
have some inside information.
that they were looking at a place up by Sloan's Lake, and sure enough, that is 100% true. So, do they have a date yet? When it's going to open?
2015 or 16.
Yeah, just in the
late
next
2015, early 2016.
and it's probably not the only one of those announcements they'll make this year, because that place seems like it's doing really, really well, and they've told us that they want to build like 5 of them around Denver eventually. So we'll probably see another one of those announced. Like probably before that one opens, we'll also know where the next one's opening.
That's good. They're fun places to go see movies. We saw the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Movie there today.
Yeah, it was great, and even with a crowd full of kids, like it was still nicer than most theaters with a crowd full of kids.
I forgive kids. In
Oh,
movies.
totally. Well, but it's a difference where like sometimes you're at a theater full of kids and the parents are not even trying to keep their kids from being obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one where at least the parents know, like, okay, we got to put at least a little bit of effort into it. What you want is kids who are reacting to the movie and really having fun. If they're like whining or yelling or, just being distracting because they're not interested in the movie, like, man, when I saw Rango in theaters, because that's a movie that kids just did not understand, and it had no business being marketed to kids. So they were like getting up and running around in the theater and shit like that. Like,
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah. But
I trip my kid if he ran by me. Stick out my foot. Boom. Knocked out.
Watch the movie. Did you guys ever, like, is this the most kid-oriented film that you guys have been to as the Real Nerds? Like,
No.
Do you want to say, like, have you had bad experiences before with the...
No, I think most of the time we generally just you sort of forgive kids for it. 'Cause it's not their
gotta
fault.
Let it go.
I've been to adult movies where people brought infants. There's never any reason to bring an infant to a movie theater.
Yeah.
Well, you're not allowed in the Alamo if you're under 4 or something.
Yeah, well, it was elsewhere, but
except for kids' movies. For adult movies, if you're under 6, you're not allowed in at all.
Yeah. So anything
even
like
with your
above a
parents.
PG-13 or above.
Yeah, exactly. But then for kids' movies, I think I don't think they have a rule like that.
Brad, was it me and you when we saw the Friday the 13th remake and there was like a little kid in it?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that was one.
I was with my parents going to see National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation back in the day, which was at the same time that Spawn was in theaters. And I remember there was a kid who was young, like well younger than me, and his dad was taking him to see Spawn, and I was just like, "Fuck, I don't want to see that movie." Like,
I think Spawn's PG-13 though.
I don't care. The kid was like 4. It's got a demon clown in it. You shouldn't take kids to that. Anyway.
Whatever works best for you as a parent. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your parent.
I am gonna.
So if I want to show my kid it, I'm going to show my kid it and show him scary clowns, James.
Okay.
Well, do it in your own home. Don't bring him to the
Yeah,
theater.
just exactly. Don't bring him to the theater.
And then when it is over, and then you say, "You see what an overrated piece of shit this is?"
You see, everybody gives Stephen King like a praise and applaud. I don't get it.
Oh man. More happy news. Seth Gordon's going to be directing an Uncharted movie, which I really like because he's the first person they've attached to it that I'm actually interested in seeing.
Seth Gordon
man, it was
is
the
the
David O.
director
Russell
of
version.
You
The
asshole.
King of Kong.
Yes,
David O. Russell.
Yeah, Seth Gordon is in The King of Kong. What was the thing he just did?
Horrible Bosses, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Horrible Bosses, and I think he's still doing Horrible Bosses too.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh no, he is not doing.
He's not
Horrible
doing
Bosses too. No, because they put pictures of Jennifer Aniston up for the movie, and they revealed all of her sexy scenes. So I read through that, and they're like, the director, not Seth Gordon.
oh,
So,
okay.
yeah. I just wanted to see
Um,
Jennifer Aniston looking sexy. So
Sweet.
that's why I went to see We're the Millers.
Yeah. I'm excited. I want somebody who wants to make a name for themselves, get that property, and really do something cool with it. Because I think it's a very rich story with some really fun characters. If they do it right, they've got at least 3 movies on their hands. I would think you could easily make it into something big and fun.
Make Nathan Fillion an action star. Finally, just do it.
I would love it if they could. I would love it if they could get Nathan Fillion to do it. I think Nathan Fillion might be too old.
Oh.
I know. Isn't that horrible? It's horrible.
He
I
looks
feel
all
like an
spry
ass.
on that castle show.
He does. Yeah. Also, Ryan, you've been talking a whole lot about Scream Factory.
I got
And
my
how-
new Night of the Demons today.
Yeah, and how much you love those Blu-rays. What if the Battery got its own version of the Scream Factory Blu-ray?
That'd be amazing. It's like we knew that they would make it.
Oh, well, it's too bad they're not. Oh no, they totally are.
Okay,
They
yeah,
totally
yeah,
are. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I like how
yeah,
we
yeah.
let that settle for a second.
Yeah. We're gonna get a Blu-ray of the Battery, and not only are we gonna get a Blu-ray of the Battery, but it's gonna be a Scream Factory, so it's gonna hopefully be like chock full of awesome badass shit. And
It should.
And dude, some cool commentaries from those guys because those guys are awesome.
What if they contact us and they want our interview with them?
That'd be awesome.
Super sweet.
Oh, dude, yeah. We could at least give them
So,
pictures of their
Scream
premiere.
Factory, if you're out there listening, I've bought about 12 of your collector's editions. So
Very fucking least you can do is put my podcast on your Blu-rays.
I am
Yeah.
owed.
We told you they were going to be big. We told you.
And the very last piece of sort of news before we get to the sad part is that the Super Bowl was this week, so we got some new trailers for stuff. Was there anything? Did you guys see? I mean, because
The
the 24 trailer.
the Transformers 4 trailer was surprisingly interesting.
that was the one I wrote down here
Actually,
because
Robot
just-
dinosaurs.
Because
it
no one
sounds
said
awesome.
anything in it.
Well, no. No, they did. There's that horrible
Don't you
part at
hurt
the
my Michael
end
Bay.
where the girl at the end's like, Dad!
that line
was
is real bad.
horrible.
Oh wait,
But-
Mark Wahlberg does say we gotta go.
if I can quote Rafe, who's been on the show before, he texted me right away and said, "Fucking Optimus Prime riding a motherfucking dragon, fuck yeah!"
There was that.
Yeah.
I think.
But yeah,
Dragon.
24. It's actually
Grimlock.
Grimlock,
Yeah.
but then like there's a dragon earlier. But still, it looks fucking badass.
I don't know the Transformers mythology. Is that part? Is the robot dinosaur part of the mythology of
Yeah.
Transformers?
Dino-
Okay.
I mean,
Dinobots?
at some point they made Dinobots. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And one of them was
Excellent.
Grimlock.
It's got Mark Wahlberg in it. I'll go.
You know, the only
Yeah.
thing I will say, it didn't have Optimus Prime saying, we have been preparing for this, or whatever his one line is
Yeah.
in every single movie, that we have not been prepared or something.
He's got a
stupid.
new face. But
Sure.
but yeah, 24 is really the one that was.
Well, the genius thing about it was it kept on like hinting at something.
Yeah.
They would show people running, and then it'd go boom, boom.
Yeah.
Then at the end, when it finally was Jack Bauer just shooting people, it was awesome.
Is it a new TV series? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
With a James Bond title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Live Another
totally
Day.
is. Get it, day, because 24.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did the Captain America trailer ever show? 'Cause I
Yeah,
never
It did.
It's-
It was
a
right at
very-
the beginning.
It was right at the beginning.
I
Yeah.
didn't see it then.
And it honestly, it's not. It wasn't very good.
Well, the
Like,
problem
I don't
is
think
they
it's as good as the normal.
They only
one.
get 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So like, oh, here's $3 million. Better put something quick, because even the Spidey trailer, if you went online afterwards, there was like a 4-minute trailer.
Right. Yeah.
That
Which is
Yeah.
fucking super spoilery, like you said.
Oh yeah, it's really
Um,
spoilery.
Spoilerific as I've seen.
Yeah.
That movie looks so much better every time I keep watching a trailer for it.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see it. I know I could write you the movie now, like, which is a shame.
Yeah.
I'd love it if I were surprised, but
Hey, we live in an
Um,
age of comic book movies, guys. Let's just enjoy it because they might be gone
hell yeah.
someday.
I mean, I
hell yeah.
still think there'll be a couple surprises in the Spidey movie because there's so much going on.
They're gonna have to because they
Yeah.
have to get build up to a third one. you
Yeah.
know, so.
I mean, of course, the big surprise that they're trying not to surprise is Gwen Stacy dying.
but everybody like
I mean, there's a shot in the trailer where Peter Parker has his mask off in the thing where Gwen Stacy is falling and he's crying, going no.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's saying no, but
yeah.
I'm like, come on, guys.
At least
Yeah.
he's not going no.
We just found out that Padme had died.
Yeah. Lousy
Um,
Padme. Have a broken
So
heart.
the big news was that Philip Seymour Hoffman died this week,
Yeah,
which fucking sucks.
it was. That was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
I called Maddie. Maddie's a huge Paul Thomas Anderson fan, so he's by proxy a huge Philip Seymour Hoffman fan. I called him up and told him immediately what happened. He could not believe it. Like he was like freaking. Like he was ecstatically upset by that whole thing. But
Yeah.
if you read online, Aaron Sorkin did a bit about. He said Philip Seymour Hoffman's death saved 10 other people from the same fate. And the reason that they said that is because he talked to Sorkin one day and said, if you and I were to die of a drug overdose, it would save 10 people because people would pay attention to it.
Mm.
I just thought that was like, it sucks that he had that addiction and stuff like that. I mean, I really wish it hadn't happened, but that piece kind of struck me that Sorkin would say something like that. It was very poignant, it's kind of like a interesting, like, sight of what both Heath Ledger had problems with and what Philip Seymour Hoffman obviously had problems with, because I had no idea he was a heroin addict at all.
No, neither did I.
Yeah.
Well, he just got out of rehab though, like literally 10 days before he died.
Yeah.
And he was, I was just reading an article, and he was a big heroin addict for a long time. Then he stopped for 20 years, and I don't know what made him relapse,
Yeah.
which is really sad.
Yeah.
I
I hope it wasn't in the Master at all.
It's definitely in the Hunger Games.
It's the Hunger Games.
I can't believe we have to say this shit.
Goddamn.
Oh well,
sure?
my fault.
We were trying to avoid it for that long. It's that silence. It's dead.
No,
and
he
suddenly
plays a heroin addict in a movie. What movies does he play a heroin addict in?
it's not one of the PTA
It's-
films.
No, it's
Oh God.
it's an independent movie. I know he does.
Yeah.
Is it Before the Devil Knows You're Dead?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's it.
Before the Devil
Yeah.
Knows You're Dead.
Oh man, I forgot about that movie. Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean,
It's a really shitty one because like he was a guy that every single movie he was in. There, honestly, some of the weird ones that I started to think of right after I heard the news were like the little movies like Nobody's Fool with Paul Newman, where he just plays like the shitty neighborhood cop. But just how much fun he is in that movie, and that was true of every role he was in.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, the first things that like the big ones are your Capotes and your Hunger Games, I guess, but. The Master, stuff like that he sort of got his name out there for, but
I actually think Boogie Nights might be my favorite
Totally.
of his performances because
Oh, yeah.
I expect it, but I still don't expect that move that he makes on Wahlberg, which is
Yeah.
always like kind of a surprise. Like you can't believe that character went that far, and he shows like how impulsive that character is. Like the beauty of his acting is in the way he's able to time himself and know exactly when to take which action. And
Yeah.
some actors will kind of go in and out of that, and they'll like jump too soon or something like that. They don't have a sense of timing.
well, I think that's really true for him. And even to take movies like Mission Impossible 3,
You're
where
a
he
warm.
is amazing in Mission Impossible 3. When he's on the the cargo plane flying back with Ethan, and he says, "You have a wife?"
You have a wife.
Yeah.
We'll find her.
Yeah. Find her.
So good.
We'll kill her.
I want to go watch that movie right now. Man.
But yeah, it's a bummer, and you just that's why drugs and stuff like that make no sense to me.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is people who are addicted to stuff like that usually die that way.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they were talking about it in the Sorkin article. He's like, Philip Seymour Hoffman didn't die of a heroin overdose. He died of heroin.
Yeah.
mhm.
And this was one of the most beautifully written lines on drug addiction, period, that I've ever read. You got to stop pretending to yourself that he took too much and it didn't take the right amount that day.
Yeah.
He died because of heroin, not
Mhm.
because of an overdose.
Mhm.
And that was so poignant, like just like the effect that drugs have on the culture and stuff like that.
Yep.
And even it extends out to any substance abuse, alcohol or oxycontins and stuff like that. It's a shame.
Yeah.
And we lost a great talent because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he didn't have to do his last scene in the Hunger Games, which is
He's still gonna be there. They're gonna digitally.
yeah. No,
do
I
it.
heard he only had one more scene to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's good. At least they don't have to have the Paul Walker issue on their hands.
The way to say it is, at least we'll get to see him in one
Yeah,
more
that's true.
film.
Yeah, Hunger
That's
Games.
the way to.
Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 will be his last performance.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I'm gonna go then.
I like the Hunger Games. You guys are weird that you don't.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like.
Sorry.
No,
I think
no, we're not. You're weird that you like it.
It's battle royale with PG-13 and Farouk and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not a big fan.
Anyway,
I like Jennifer Lawrence.
Me too.
that's the news.
Thanks,
it
James.
wasn't too sad.
Yeah, not too
No,
sad.
not at all.
Yeah.
No.
I did my best, guys.
Brad, what do you want to do next?
What do I want to do?
Yeah.
Let's rock some people with some mail. Do we have mail?
Oh, we do have. We have one shining example of mail.
Is it actual mail?
It is actual mail.
Feed mail.
I wanted to do the sad shit first so James can bring the podcast down halfway through it.
No, yeah, you just kill the podcast early, and then we have to drag it back
No,
up out
no,
of the
we-
mud.
we-
Guys, this is sadder than the episode of Sesame Street where Mr. Hooper died.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, we got another email from Randy, and he says, me again.
Sweet.
I wanted to first thank you guys for doing your top 10 comics. It was way cool. I keep listening to it. I want to try some of those stories out now, including the Spider-Man ones. Yeah!
Wow.
Another fan. On to movies and such. Justified is such a good show.
Yeah.
I grew up in West Virginia, so some of that I am strangely familiar with.
Wow.
Love.
Everything in the show. It's just
Well,
like-
he says West Virginia. West Virginia is a very different place.
He comes up to you, James, you have no idea how similar my life is. No idea.
Love me some classic horror such as Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, etc. I've not yet heard your thoughts on reboots for some of those, Ryan. Would you mind sharing? Yeah, sure. The Halloween one, the director's cut, is way better if you see the Rob Zombie one. Halloween 2 is a little too unusual. It still has some great things. I don't like the white horse with Sherry Moon Zombie. I think it has a great message, though. And it has one of the most gruesome kills that no one ever talks about, where Michael Myers saws some dude's head off with a broken piece of windshield.
Yep.
I think that's only in the unrated cut, though.
And in that cut, it has the better ending. I love that ending.
Yeah.
Although I didn't like Michael talking.
Yeah.
But I love that ending and what it represents.
Yeah,
I think
I
we've
agree.
talked about it before. I prefer that cut over anything.
Oh, yeah,
else.
yeah. I think both his director's cuts.
Superior.
It's superior. My biggest issue with Rob Zombie as a writer is I think sometimes he doesn't write teenage girls well. I think he gives them horrible mouths, and I don't think sometimes they talk that way. To me, it sounds.
I thought you meant like ugly mouths.
No, it sounds to me that he's talking. It's Rob Zombie talking through the character, opposed to a character talking that way.
I can see where it comes. I think we've actually talked about this before. I've seen teenage girls that talk like that. It's not that unnormal.
Oh my god, I've been in this conversation before.
Yeah, we're in the. Oh my
Shit.
god, deja vu.
As for Friday the 13th, I actually think it's one of the best reboots they've done. It kind of gets the essence of who Jason
You're
is.
talking,
Brad,
the Platinum Dooms one?
yeah.
Yeah.
Brad, did you like the Friday the 13th remake?
I thought it was okay. I haven't seen it since the theater though.
Because Platinum Dooms started making those like more action movies than like slasher films, right?
Yeah. Also, too, I would recommend getting the Killer Cut on Blu-ray. The theater cut's good, but it seems there's something missing. The Killer Cut is actually the story plays out differently. It's not the same story towards the end. It's really interesting and it's interesting how when editors and movie people get their hands on something, and you can see how they play with it, because in the 2009 Friday the 13th, there's a part where Whitney escapes Jason, and she gets to the house, and then her brother finds her, and then they get away. In the killer cut, Jason actually catches her again and brings her back and locks her up again. And then it plays out differently, and the deaths are a little more gruesome, and it stretches. I think the cut ends up being about 10-15 minutes longer.
Okay.
So it changes the pacing of the movie. It's pretty good.
I mean, I'm not a. You and I've talked about it. I'm not a huge Friday the 13th fanboy, but I didn't think it was a terrible remake. I just felt like it's kind of. I didn't expect anything out of it because I'm like, oh, the first Friday the 13th, everybody knows it's Jason, so you can't do the mother surprise again. That was like that was the only flaw that I saw in them ever remaking it.
Yeah, and they're talking about remaking it without Jason in it, which doesn't make any sense. That'd be stupid.
What would it be?
I don't know.
Friday the 13th Part 5?
Batman.
The Nightmare on Elm Street remake, I haven't seen in a little bit. I do like Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy Krueger.
I think it's the superior of the Platinum Dunes reboots.
It's different, yeah. It's probably.
That whole where they're trying to twist it on whether or not Krueger might be innocent or not, I thought was a very nice addition to something that could have just been stale.
Yeah, because the thing that I always said about Nightmare on Elm Street movies, the first one's brilliant. Yeah. I think the second one is better than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
The third one is pretty good too. The fourth one starts getting a little silly. The fifth one
ridiculous.
Is really silly. The sixth one I can't stand.
So boring.
Yeah. The seventh one I think is way ahead of its time.
Oh, New Nightmare?
Yeah, New Nightmare.
It's Scream before Scream.
Yeah, New Nightmare is a genius piece of cinema.
Mm-hmm. And then Freddy vs. Jason, which
is great.
Yeah, it's an Abbott and Costello movie. I love it.
Yeah, it's fun. Hellraiser, I haven't. I like the first one. I actually think the second one is better.
Hellraiser?
Yeah.
They did. So they rebooted Hellraiser?
No, they're going to though.
Oh, I've never followed Hellraiser. I don't think I've ever seen one of them.
I watched them because Scott Derrickson, who I really like, who directed Sinister and The Exorcism of Emily Rose, directed the fifth part. So I decided to watch them all.
And he's from
Colorado. From Denver.
And he just co-wrote The Devil's Knot on the West Memphis 3 movie.
Yeah. And he's working on a supernatural cop priest movie that sounds really fascinating. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I like some reboots. I like the Chainsaw Massacre reboot.
The beginning one was actually well acted.
Yeah, it was.
For Arlie Ermy and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's great in that. So yeah, I mean, I like all horror movies. Hopefully that answers some of your question. Next is McGee. Have any of you watched Supernatural? I could swear I've seen his name in the credits. I've watched up to season 7 and think it's a great show. If you're not watching, you're missing out. I have never watched it. I know. Didn't one of your ex-girlfriends, Brad, really love Supernatural?
Oh, look at you. I tried to forget. Yeah, I watched a few of the first season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
had no interest in it.
What's it about?
It's about these two actually, Sam and Dean, I still remember their names. They're two brothers who their dad just disappeared one day, based on something supernatural. Mm-hmm. They're kind of on a quest to figure out what happened to them.
It's like a Monster of the Week show.
It's kind of
there's a Monster of the Week in between their quest. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like a slightly more supernatural X-Files, right?
I guess, yeah.
I can't believe. I think it's on its 9th season now.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's unbelievable.
It is honestly on the my list of shame of TV shows because people tell me that all the time.
I know.
And
I bet I would love it. We have to watch because it's so popular. But I don't know. Nothing's really popped up on me that we should watch it.
From what I saw, I feel like it survives more on girls crushing on the leads than the actual quality of the story. But again,
so there you go, Randy. Brad just said that you only watch that show because you're attracted to the guys.
Yep.
So,
and I think McGee is part of that show. To tell you the truth,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's good. Then McGee might be involved in it because McGee makes good things. Yeah. McGee just needs to change his fucking name.
I know. Why? I think his name's like Joseph McGinnis or something.
Yeah. If you said that name, I'd be like, oh yeah, he sounds like a good director.
We can call him McDees. He'd be a delicious director.
The last thing I got to ask, as I hear guests on the podcast every now and again, why do I have to punch who do I have to punch? Brad, maybe, to see you
What the
guys do a
fuck?
podcast in person. Thanks again. You guys rock.
Yeah, you can punch
It's
Brad
not
and then
that-
we'll
No.
watch the show. Yeah, no, that's the deal now.
You don't have to do that at all.
Yeah, no, you have to punch
I only
Brad.
got I only got to punch him in the forehead. So if we can punch him like other places, then I'll be coming on here much more often.
Randy, answer your question. Anytime you want to be on Real Nerds Podcast, email us. We see movies usually on Fridays, and we record Friday night. Or we can, you work at Mile High Comics. I've always wanted to interview Chuck for our show, so maybe one day we can interview Chuck and interview you at Mile High Comics and be mobile
Yeah.
and go there and talk to you.
We'll be at Denver Comic Con.
We will be at Denver Comic
Recording
Con.
all kinds of stuff there.
We should probably look on their website. Do they have registration yet for press? We should probably look into
I'll
that.
send Tone an email. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, we are in tight with them.
Yeah.
And also Kimberly. She's nice.
Yeah.
We are unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic
are.
Con, so you
This
can
is
expect it to
true.
be.
Yeah.
We are. And Denver Comic Con are the people that hooked us up with Anime Land Wasabi. So I'm looking forward to that one. That one should be fun. I got to get Jim Cummings to sign my Darkwing Duck DVD set.
That would be awesome.
I want to really sign it on the Terror That Flaps in the Night. Can you make him sign it this way? It was really cool. I was reading an article of Comic Book Resources interviewed Michael Uslan for
we've
Batman
talked to
stuff. I know. I said, hey, you guys, you can listen to our interview with Michael Uslan.
Do you see he's a producer on the Lego movie?
He is.
He
Yes,
is,
he is
yeah.
because of Batman. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for the mail, Randy. We appreciate it. Brad, what are we doing next?
Let's give people some box office stats.
Awesome.
This is the box office stats.
Box Office Mojo, your one place to stop and check out all box office stats. The number one movie, yet again, was Ride Along.
Did anybody here see this?
Nope.
No.
3 weeks.
I-
number one.
I finally
seen
started
it.
understanding that Kevin Hart's funny, but I kind of just don't care.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? Like he's just one of those comics. Like he's funny, but I just don't care.
No, it's...
He's loud and he talks fast.
Yeah.
That's all I seem to know.
He's kind of like Dane Cook.
I just shot the shotgun out of my ass. Or what's the joke that everyone says is funny when he's shooting the shotgun in Ride Along? That like, oh, that's a major selling point of the movie.
Yeah.
And when I see it, I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
I was watching Grudge Match the other day, and I thought he and Alan Arkin were the only funny people in the movie. Like I just wanted to see them box at one point.
Perhaps on a cooler note is that Frozen is number 2 on week 11.
Cooler note.
Ooh, brought back
Yeah.
up. How much?
Look at
did
that
it make?
pun.
Man, it made $9 million last year.
It's the...
Last
So
week.
it's been a slow.
It's the...
Oh yeah, no, it's a bad.
But it's the second highest total for 11th week film of all time. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I still
mean,
haven't
'cause
seen Frozen. Need to
It
see it.
just
Wonderful.
barely made more money than that awkward moment that nobody saw. So
Yep. And then, but also no one else saw was Labor Day.
Oh, really? That kind of. Well, I guess that makes sense. It's more of a drama that wasn't nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, because they tried to put it out early and generate buzz for it, but all the buzz was generated was negative.
Yeah.
So
They're
that
like,
backfired.
Oh shit, we got this. Well, what
Yeah.
do we do? Let's stick it in January.
poor Jason Reitman.
Yeah. I'm gonna still go see it. I love
Yeah.
his work.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And even if it sucks, I will still love his work.
yeah,
Like,
we're probably still
he's
gonna.
allowed one stinker,
even if it sucks, we're probably still gonna like it.
probably.
See, that's
like
the
parts of
see. This you just proved my point that that's how you go into David O. Russell movies that they're
No.
going to suck, and that you're just like, oh, I'll give Jason Reitman a break because I like him. Way to just prove my point, James.
No,
Unbelievable.
No, what I just said is exactly what we always say, which is that you want to like it. You go into a movie wanting to like it. So the fact that I tried so fucking hard to want to like American Hustle, and he still made me frustrated and made me hate him, that's how bad fucking American Hustle is. Move
His,
the fucking show along.
His Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies is moving forward.
Oh, great.
For David O. Russell.
He wrote the screen adaptation for that.
Let's hope it takes
Well,
so long.
so it's just gonna be about as boring as American Hustle was.
Stay tuned for Zach Eastman's review of American Hustle.
Brad, what are we doing next?
We're going to tell people what DVDs and Blu-rays are coming out.
Really?
Nice.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Ender's Game is the big one.
Is that
Um,
available on Laserdisc as well?
No.
Damn it!
Sorry.
I'm not getting it then.
I like spending $100 on
Yeah.
big RPM discs.
I was hoping for a Criterion Edition Laserdisc, and
That's
Get
one of
it
those
on
movies
beta.
that I think back when we saw it, I think, yeah, if you didn't see it in theaters, you should check that out on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And
I liked
No.
Ender's Game.
The last season of Sherlock is out this week. There's
The latest season of Sherlock.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, not the last.
The
the most
latest.
recent.
Finally, I can stop avoiding spoilers.
And yeah, it's a shoot. I don't have it wide enough. It's a diamond edition of the Jungle Book.
That'll be in my mail on Tuesday. Ooby-doo, I wanna be like you.
Up to doobie doobie.
It's a cute movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
totally.
one of
Oh,
Disney's
no.
deepest movies, but it's really well animated and the music's really good. in
Oh
it.
yeah,
That was
it's
the
a
last
classic.
thing he did.
It is.
Yep.
Well, it's the last one that was released in his lifetime. He was working on 101 Dalmatians. when he
That's true.
died.
That was his last production effort, yeah. But
And he told the animators that it looked like shit.
for Jungle Book,
101 Dalmatians.
Wow.
the animators were just like,
I
really
like
hope
the
they
way-
freeze your head.
Well, by that time, like the animators were really old, so they were just recycling a lot of the previous animations.
Yeah, what they did, a lot of people think, we've brought up Robin Hood before.
Yeah.
I actually watched a documentary on it, and I went and read it. What they did is they would take the animations from previous ones and just paint over them.
Right.
So there's a scene in Robin Hood that they painted over Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs where they're dancing, and
That's
so it's not the same, but it kind of is.
Right. Yeah. Robert Redford's All Is Lost comes out this week. No, it's true. It's like the only line he has in that movie, and it's really pretty damn good.
well, he talks on the radio too.
Yeah. No, he does. I'm
Talks
just
on the radio. But
Yeah.
that's the big line.
yeah. And it's an interesting movie. Did you see it?
Yeah, I loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. It's good. The Best Man Holiday comes out.
Oh shit!
That's
That's what they all look like on the cover.
It's 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 a holiday movie, but
They all look suspiciously happy.
It's like that
scares
Family Guy joke where during the Family Guy episode, this ad comes up for the next Fox show.
Like shoving buddies.
Yeah,
Shoving
shoving buddies are slowly turning suspicious. I forget what it's called.
I like the
That's
one
what
where it's two guys back to back, and he goes, this guy, both of us.
the first season of The Americans is coming out this week, which I
liked it.
I liked it. I don't it's got a lot of buzz around it, but
It's
I
a
think it's
slow
fun.
burn.
Yeah.
Slow burn to a fun finish
Yeah.
kind of vibe with the first couple of episodes.
yeah, it's worth checking out if you haven't given it a chance yet. The Counselor,
the shittiest movie of the year.
You're the Worst. I'm actually really excited to get it. This will be in my mail on Tuesday because I'm really
Did
excited
you
to give
did
it
you
a
pre-order
chance.
it?
Yeah, I
So
did.
you have to let me borrow it
Yeah, no, I will.
because I want to see Cameron Diaz's voice dubbed.
It's not. That's the worst part. Like
Isn't that weird?
She is unfortunately the worst part of that movie. And
I
that's
really Scott
that's
let that movie go to shit.
He didn't let it go to shit. Like you haven't even seen it.
know,
His
I'm just-
brother just died.
That's why it's so.
So that's why he
dark.
lost focus.
No, it's not about focus. It's that movie is really, really dark. It's very nihilistic, and
Yeah.
No, I want to see it. I wanted
Yeah.
to see it before it came out. I just it's always funny reading other critics' reviews. I mean, the Entertainment Weekly guy said that was the worst movie of the year. My whole mind is saying the worst movie of the year. Did you see Texas Chainsaw 3D?
Yeah.
There's no way that movie's
Yeah,
worse
well,
than that.
He's going on like they don't. What was that? Leonard Maltin doesn't even go to see those horror movies anymore. He sends another person to do it.
yeah,
Or he doesn't review it at all. Like some of these people, like I don't think Owen Gilberman goes and watches horror movies, which stinks because that's part of your job.
Yeah.
yeah. That
Well, I
that
think-
is your job.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
horror movies are unfairly maligned sometimes in,
Yeah.
in the critic circle. They turn their nose up to that stuff.
That's why it's up to podcasts like this to
That's right.
properly review them.
And the
That's
issue
right.
is that then what you get is people saying that like The Counselor is the worst movie of the year. And
I
you're
can't
like,
imagine it's that bad.
really? Like, did you even see movies this year? Because I could name. I don't know. Let's say I saw 107 movies, and The Counselor was almost in my top 20, but not barely. So that means I could probably give you at least 75 movies from this year that weren't as good as The Counselor.
The CW guy should have watched Live Free or Die Hard. Or
Yes!
not Live Free or Die Hard. I'm sorry, A Good Day to Die Hard.
Right? Absolutely. That movie is head and shoulders way worse than that.
I didn't understand the story of A Good Day to Die Hard because like it was so.
Neither did the writers.
Yeah, that's how scrambled it is. Should be very simple. John McClane's just having another bad day for the 5th time in a
Yeah.
row.
But he's on vacation.
I'm on
You remember-
vacation.
Yeah,
I'm
on
vacation. I said I was on vacation. I'm still on vacation. Is it funny yet?
And the whole time,
No,
like,
Bruce.
wait, when did he ever say he was on vacation?
He was
says-
never on vacation. It was never a vacation.
And The Counselor's the worst movie.
Yeah. But The Counselor is the worst worst movie of the year.
That's the updated version of Pearl Harbor sucks, right? Is the counselor sucks.
Counselor sucked.
Naomi
Just a little bit more than American Hustle. That's James' version.
That's horrible.
Blue Jasmine.
In our film explosion, I wanted so bad to put American Hustle as my number one movie. Just to be an asshole.
Yeah, just a man.
I'm glad you chose Saving Mr. Banks. Though. It's something I never would have really expected out of you.
Really?
Yeah, but when you put it up there, I'm like, oh, James has a heart. No, I love that movie though.
Yeah.
I watched it again recently.
Did you?
Yeah.
I already pre-ordered it. It doesn't
Yeah.
even have a date for it to be released yet.
It's just get it in my house.
Well, that's how I got Monsters University. Didn't know I ordered it.
Yeah,
It shows
yeah,
up
yeah.
at my house. I'm like, oh yeah, I ordered that when it came out.
I have to be careful with that stuff because sometimes I do that, and then if I don't notice when I go back to that page that Amazon's telling me I already ordered it, I could theoretically order it again.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't done it yet, but
yeah, because
I've gotten
kind
close.
of hide that on you too. They're like, you ordered this item, and it's like
Right.
this big.
Yeah. Well, because on some things maybe you did.
That worked
order
really
it
well in the
twice.
podcast. It's like this big.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's huge, like Brad's dick.
Anyway, Naomi Watts' Diana comes out this week. So if you
Brad, you don't feel like chiming in on anything?
No, I was trying to get.
You did it. You justice.
He wants Naomi Watts' Diane on his dick. That's what we talked about, right?
I love Naomi Watts. She's so pretty. Remember that scene in the ring where she's in the well and her shirt's totally see-through? You can see her nips. It's great.
You know she's like fully naked in other movies, right?
What? 21 grams? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but to watch that, you
But
have
it's
to
through the
see a
T-shirt. It
movie
makes
with-
it so much more. It
Yeah,
just
it's
makes it so much more
provocative.
naughty.
I'm like, oh, she's an investigative reporter.
Oh my god, I love your credentials.
James, you're still telling us releases, right?
Anyway, no, sorry, I blacked out. Kerry Russell's Austenland comes out this week, which is a little indie movie about a woman who really likes Jane Austen, and then finally they're releasing another big edition of the Rocky collection.
Cool.
Which this one I might pick up because I don't have those on Blu-ray.
You gonna buy the DVD?
And I was inspired that I kind of really want to get those Blu-rays this week by something that I watched.
Where's the over-the-top Blu-ray? That's what I want to know.
It
Oh,
exists.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's only got a theatrical trailer on it. I want a commentary by Stallone on that movie.
Because, I mean, if nothing says love like arm wrestling.
And then I put my hand over his head, and then we did a real wrestle thing, and that was the movie. And I had a kid in here.
Oh my
And I drive a truck.
He does
Where did
commentaries.
that kid had no business being in that movie. You know that, right?
clearly he does commentaries just like Schwarzenegger, where he just describes what's happening. In
Yeah.
the movie. This is a pretty good part right here.
This is the part where I say it's not a tumor, and it's not.
It's because I have a headache. The kid is giving me a headache.
God,
Brad, what's next?
asshole.
I think we're ready to either do comic books or talk about what we watched.
Cool. Comic books. Oh, I have a treat for you guys this week.
Is it Spider-Man?
No.
What? What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
I haven't done Spider-Man in so long, you fucking asshole.
Well, except for the 10 Spider-Man books that he did. For
I did
his
not
top
do 10
list.
Spider-Man books. You're a liar.
I know.
You don't even listen to our own shit.
I was
Fuck.
here, and I wasn't listening.
I know. I have 3 comic books for you. I'm going to give you a little bit
Whoa.
of something for everybody. The first comic I have is it's going to shock you guys maybe.
Okay.
It's Mega Man issue 32.
Not shocked.
I'm not shocked. You have him tattooed on your body.
I do. But why I chose this one is, I mean, they're kind of silly Archie comics, so they're not really deep, except for this issue.
There's no Civil War in the Mega Man universe.
Exactly. This issue, they're fighting this thing called Raw Moon, who is turning all the robots against each other, and Dr. Wily has to use Mega Man to beat Raw Moon. And after the issue previous, they're fighting him, and Mega Man realizes he can't beat Raw Moon. The only way he can beat him is by overloading his circuits. And by overloading his circuits, he ceases to exist. And there's this great 3 pages where he's talking to Dr. Wily. And, you know, Dr. Wily's his arch nemesis. And he says, you know, Dr. Wily, the only way I can do this is if I overload my system and shoot him a bunch with a super weapon, I guess. And Dr. Wily says, well, if you do that, you could zap yourself out of existence. And he turns and says, you're right. And so he starts doing it. And he looks back at Dr. Wily and says, if there's any part of me, please bring him back to my father. And he runs in there and blows up this moon. It is badass. I'm like, oh. And then Mega Man died at the end.
Oh no! Spoilers.
Yeah, but don't worry, they rebuilt him.
Good.
They had the technology.
And they did. The next issue, they rebuild him, and he saves Dr. Wily from going to prison because Dr. Wily helped Mega Man beat Rob Moon. So it was a really cool adult moment in a really kiddie book where Mega Man says, I'm going to sacrifice myself. It was great. The second one is Serenity, which is the new Zach Whedon and Georges Jonti. It's really funny. It picks up right at about, I think it's 8 months after the movie.
Cool.
There's something about Jonti, how he paces his books that make him really easy to read. And he's really good in it. Basically, everyone's looking for Mal, and they're trying to find him because people are saying what they found at the end of spoilers for Serenity. They found the planet where everybody was dead, and the Alliance is saying, "Oh, that's fake. That's just people making it up." And then there's other people that are saying that it's true. So now they're searching for him, and that's the first issue. It's pretty good.
Cool.
Right on.
And the last thing is Empire of the Dead, which is the new George Romero zombie book.
Wait. George Romero's doing comic books now?
Yeah, it's a Marvel book called Empire of the Dead. It's written by George Romero. What I really liked about this book is it takes place after the zombie apocalypse, and if you've followed Romero's career,
it takes place after the zombie.
Well, it's they've
they've actually all died down.
No, they've found a way to basically domesticate them.
Okay.
So it's like
the
it's not like
apocalypse is over.
It's not like Land of the Dead.
It's like the continuation. If you've watched Romero's movies, if you start with Night of the Living Dead, it starts. Dawn of the Dead is them starting to overwhelm everybody. Day of the Dead is I'm trying to figure out, is there a way we can domesticate these ghouls? Can we reward them? And this book just opens with this lady, and she's walking around and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm looking for a smart zombie." And they said, "Well, there's one right there. He's delivering mail." She's like, "No, that's not smart. He's just remembering what he used to do. I'm looking for one that can solve problems, blah, 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 blah." And it has a cool backstory where this general says, "Well, why do you care so much? They're stupid. We should just kill them." She says, "Well, let me tell you a story." And she tells a story of the first... It's basically Night of the Living Dead. And if you've seen the original Night of the Living Dead, Barbara is the lead person in it. And her brother, Johnny... teases her and he dies.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, he shows up and drags her out of the house.
Right, and then unfortunately that movie started the weird tradition of the black guy always dying in a horror movie.
But so what he does in this book is he takes over from when Barbara's dragged out of the house, and so Johnny the zombie's dragging her through the barn and he's about to eat her and she says, "Wait, don't you remember me? Don't you remember me?" And the zombie stops. Ooh. And then the police guys show up, and if you've seen the end of the Night of the Living Dead, the police actually kill Ben.
Right.
And so they're about to shoot and kill Barbara, but her brother zombie jumps in front of it, and so that's her sister. So she says that her older brother, as a zombie, remembered who he was, and if there's a way we can do that, then it will be better for it. So it's a really interesting story.
I kind of want to see that as a movie.
Yeah. And then at the end, it turns out there's vampires too.
Whoa, what?
Yeah. There's vampires in it. So I don't know. I mean, this is just the first.
It took 50-something years for George Romero to go. Now vampire.
Well, he made a great vampire movie called Martin. If you've never seen it.
No, but throwing him into that mythology.
Well, it's interesting because he did these flashbacks in the book of people that are. High society, and why are they this way? And it turns out it's because the reason they're not affected is because they're vampires, and so the last is them feeding on people, and this zombie who was a doctor is saying, "Oh, undead, but not like me," and it's a really fascinating book. So I can't wait to see how it continues.
That sounds like that book that you talked about recently, where there were the vampires who wanted to fight the zombies because they can't feed on the zombies.
Yeah, that's Max Brooks' Extinction Parade, which is a lot more violent, and it's not so... it's really slow moving.
Yeah.
Now, it's in its 4th issue, and it's every other month. Mm-hmm. And in this one, they're just realizing that if the zombies eat all the people, then the vampires have no one to eat.
Yeah.
So they're kind of the same, but with George Romero's commentary on life. Yeah. So pick up all 3 of those books.
Cool.
Colorado Coins Cards.
I just love that idea. Now vampire.
Yeah.
Next, we're gonna throw in some werewolves.
And then when you actually look at the cover of Empire of the Dead, it's a zombie with 2 vampire puncture wounds in it. I'm like, oh, didn't even notice that.
There we go.
Huh.
And that, my friends, was the Comic Book Corner. Hey, what we've been watching.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Zach, what have you been watching this week?
What have I watched? I went through a couple different things. I finally saw The Hobbit 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I was gonna make that joke.
I already did it. There can only be room for one lyrical
Breaking
genius
joke.
here, and it's obviously Jesus. I hate him too.
Did you hear what he said? Like, he's this generation's John Lennon.
No, he's not. He's not even. He's not even this generation's Kanye West.
You hear that? You hear that, Kanye? You hear what Zach said?
Coming after you,
You're not John.
It's on
Kanye East. Watched The Hobbit 2, which did not star Kanye, and I actually liked it a lot more than Hobbit 1. Because the first Hobbit, I was like, yeah, we're going back to Middle Earth. Oh, this is kind of boring. Now I see what Kevin Smith's been talking about in all those Clerks movies. He's just like, there's just people walking to a volcano.
It was really boring when you show every bit of the process.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, we have to cross this certain section of the forest. This could take hours, young Hobbit.
You can kind of just go from the dinner scene to, Smaug's castle.
Yeah, kind of. You'd be like, well, we're here. How did we get there? We
Yeah.
traveled by map.
Them fighting orcs and trolls.
No, because the first movie was about
I'm
him
just
finding
glad
his
that there was
courage.
no Tom Bombadil in there. Go like, oh yeah, the fans didn't like that I didn't put him in Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna put him in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Because Tom Bombadil's like the worst Lord of the Rings character on the planet.
Yeah.
He's about as useless as Scrappy Doo.
Whoa!
He gives Frodo and the Hobbits berries and a place to stay. That's pretty much it. And he has a whole chapter dedicated to him.
Yeah.
That's a weird.
Like 2 chapters.
Yeah. But I like the second one. I like that they brought back Legolas. I know that's not a popular choice because
I think it's awesome.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I thought it really worked for the story. Like the way it ended. I'm growing on Martin Freeman as Bilbo every time I watch a movie starring him as a Hobbit.
Really, I got on board with him when I saw The Hobbit again. I didn't see it since it came out in theaters, and I got the extended edition.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I watched again, his performance is so nuanced and so it's really good.
Yeah.
Because and especially when you watch his growth as a character in it, I think people have the wrong, I don't know, but when you watch it, he starts so scared and so timid, and then he slowly gains his courage, and then the payoff in the Desolation of Smaug is genius, and I really enjoyed the journey.
I liked it. I can't wait for the third one.
Someone say it was unexpected.
God damn it!
I can't wait for Hobbit 3: The Enforcer. It's gonna rock. Fourth one's gonna be called Hobbit 4: Sudden Impact. Hobbit 5: The Deadpool.
Nice.
I can't believe I went that far without forgetting. I also watched American Hustle finally.
What did you think?
I honestly I didn't get what everybody was, jerking off about so much.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you mean you didn't see all, like, the fact that every woman had a dress that just was...
No, I meant I meant critically. There was clearly plenty of things to tug it to in that movie, James. I just didn't. The cast is great. The acting's great. I actually thought Bradley Cooper was really good in the movie, playing this kind of like up down kind of bipolar guy with his emotions and whatnot. But he's also got that emotional arc with his mother, like living with his mother, and he's so sexually like kind of repressed and not free.
Yeah.
But the story it reminded me a lot of The Informant, the movie The Informant by Steven Soderbergh, which I think is a genius film. And if American Hustle had come out before The Informant, I may have a different opinion, but I love The Informant so much that this movie just kind of felt like a rehashing of it. Or at least David O. Russell saying, I want to be like Steven Soderbergh.
I didn't get that at all from it.
I don't know.
That's
because I never got the in The Informant. Matt Damon plays the aw shucks kind of guy, and I never got the aw shucks kind of guy.
No, it's just more the story. I mean, I will say that the performances in American Hustle are fantastic for what they are. Like Amy Adams is wonderful in the movie. Jennifer Lawrence is great in the movie. She's always good. Like I've never really seen her in a movie that I didn't like. Jeremy Renner, I actually like Jeremy Renner a lot in this movie, and I'm glad he's getting other roles. And Christian Bale, Kind of looked like my dad after he let himself go, so it was kind of creepy. It just, I mean, I don't know if that's a fat suit or if that's like a shit ton of weight.
Oh, he put on a
It's
shit ton of
it's a
weight.
shit ton of
He's
weight.
crazy.
I've heard he's a
Yeah.
method.
He's gonna
actor,
die.
so- He's gonna die.
I'm not. That's not. I'm
With
not
a
kidding.
cheeseburger in a bathroom.
They found half of the cheeseburger still in his mouth.
With no Leonardo DiCaprio to save him.
Oh.
Wolf of Wall Street? Anybody?
Yep.
No? Okay.
And
Oh.
still funny.
Just makes me sad.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I only saw 2 other films this week. I saw Man of Steel again. Still think that movie is brilliant, especially if you watch it from the idea that it's an alien invasion movie and not a Superman movie. And if you watch it that way, it ends up being kind of cool and fun. But I think that that's more of a Snyder thing or a Nolan thing, and that Snyder's going to be a little bit more fantastical with Batman versus Superman. So I'm excited to see what he does with it afterward. And then the only other film that I watched this week was I went back into some Halloweens, and because I was listening to this critical review podcast of different Halloween movies, I watched Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers.
That's all right.
Once again, Donald Pleasance, very, very, very out there to look for evil, but somehow never there to really help anybody.
Oh my God! The mailman just scared the shit out of me.
There are still mailmen in this world.
Well, they're actually zombies.
Careful, he
who are
might have a
just-
gun.
Are they electronic? Like, do they look
Reggie.
like they do on the computer?
Weirdo. Get over here.
Poor Reginald is
I know,
so
you're-
excited.
Hey,
about
no,
the
that
mailman.
dog is protecting you because
He is.
you know, Lord knows the mailmen they're still as sneaky as they ever were.
Yes.
And some of them might be zombies.
That's
know.
true. But no, Halloween 5: Revenge of Michael Myers. I as far as the Halloween canon, like I guess I kind of decided at some point I'm just gonna start rewatching all of these. That film is not as bad as I think it could have been. It's definitely not as bad as Halloween 6 is.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
the one cut of Halloween.
I've never
6.
seen the producer's cut.
I'm still trying to find it for
Yeah.
you.
I think where Halloween 5 gets silly, that's the one where he's like,
Tina.
well, that, and isn't
Tina's
he
the
floating
most-
down a river, and then he gets into a shack, and he gets
Yeah.
nursed back to health?
That didn't bother me as much as Tina. She's the most annoying person in a Halloween movie ever. Like, I don't think I've ever wanted to smack somebody that hard.
Well, see, because I think the reason Halloween 5 isn't as successful is because I think Halloween 4 is one of the best sequels.
It is.
Because they squandered the ending of it,
Yeah.
and 2, and then they gave that goofy psychic link between him and Jamie.
The stuttering pirate kid.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
You don't know where he is, but I do.
Yeah. I mean, there's some suspenseful moments in it. The same thing with Halloween 6. I think there's some effective moments in it, but Halloween 5 is all right.
Halloween 5 had it's that weird trap that Loomis has for Michael. It's like Mousetrap or like something like out of I think Mustafa Akkad saw a Home Alone movie or something and was just like, let's make Michael Myers Halloween Home Alone boogeyman trap. Because he talks like it's so funny. Mike. No. There you go. It was overall though like fun little slasher flick from the 80s. Oh wait, I did watch one more. I watched Crystal Lake Memories,
No, that's a great one.
the Jason documentary. Close to like what 6 hours.
I think it's 7.5 actually.
It's something that
It's
long.
crazy.
And the thing that stuck with me throughout the entire documentary was Corey Feldman telling the story of Jason. Because, yes, it's dramatic and whatnot, but I'm watching that and I'm going, Corey Feldman's explaining how Jason Voorhees works to me. It's like watching Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart did this 6-hour documentary on MGM, like back in the late 80s, early 90s, and it just starts off with him in this Art Deco set looking through a telescope, and he just goes, the stars. I've never been there. Only through watching them on my local silver screen. And then he just starts talking about MGM
That's
as
awesome.
if though he's a high on ecstasy. At one point he's in an Art Deco jungle and he goes, audiences loved jungle pictures. You can't help but like laugh your ass off. So that's what I saw. Now I'm going to watch that documentary
You know,
again.
I really want to I keep on going to Tradesmart, and I hope that Corey Feldman's autobiography entitled Choreography is going to show up used one day.
Really?
Yeah, it's true.
I'm buying 10 copies of that book.
Yeah, you know how I found out it
Choreography.
existed. My wife loves this one guy who writes Wally Lamb, and he was doing a reading and a signing of his newest book at the Tattered Cover Highlands Ranch, which is a great store. I was there, and I was just fucking around while she's waiting in line to get his autograph or wait to whatever
Meet him.
And I was in the biography section, and I was skimming through, and I went choreography, and I pulled up. Sure enough, Corey Feldman, written by Corey Feldman, with that one hairdo that he had, where it's like the one
The
like
curl- the split curl.
the
Split
split
curl
curl that came down to like here.
Yeah.
He's so scary.
He knows he's not a dancer, right?
Yeah, but it's a clever play on words. I was actually reading.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. He is-
James, you have to look me in the eye right now and tell me that if somebody came up to you and said, I've got an autobiography for Corey Feldman, and it's called Choreography, you wouldn't go, fuck you, take my money.
See, here's the thing, though. It's like
Look me in
20
the eye and
bucks.
say that.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to spend $20 on it.
No, yeah,
But
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
if-
I'll
if
definitely
I
wait
find it
till it
free-
goes to used.
Yeah, when it's
Yeah.
used and it's $4, dude.
If
I'm
my
reading that
money
cover to
is
cover.
equal-
I'll buy it
to
along
about
with a
25
copy of
cents.
Me by Katharine Hepburn.
Oh, she's pretty. Brad, what'd you watch this week?
Not a lot. I've been still watching Law and Order, and a couple weeks ago, I keep forgetting to say that I watched all of Parks and Rec.
Oh, wow.
What'd you think?
Yeah. The first season blows. And in the second season, it finally gets good when Tammy first shows up. After that, it's awesome. And Ron Swanson's like one of the best TV characters ever.
Really?
Yeah.
I rarely watch the show, so I don't remember his name, but what's the name of the guy who hangs out with Aziz Ansari's character all the time? He has the line where he's like, I got run over by a Lexus.
Oh, that guy. I don't know his name. But
Rufio or
yeah,
something
it's
like
like
that.
Raphael or something.
Raphael or something like that. Yeah, that I love those episodes when he's in it. And they did this Spider-Man fan video where they cut the Amazing Spider-Man teaser trailer to that character, and it shows Spider-Man swinging, and you just hear, I got run over by a Lexus.
So-
I love it, though. And you're right, Ron Swanson, one of the best TV characters
it's amazing.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
Offerman's a genius.
I've never taken the time to watch it because I
Yeah.
really don't like Amy Poehler.
Oh,
I want to
that's
just sit down and
unfortunate.
watch it all in
Yeah.
a row. It seems like a show that I want to watch it all in a row, not just like that's how I did The Office. So
Yeah, that's how I did this too. And yeah, it was after that first season, which is only 6 episodes.
Mm.
I was just like, what do people see in this? And then my friend John told me to stick with it. I was like, okay. And then that Tammy episode happened, and the effect she has on Ron Swanson is hilarious. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I always mean to, but yeah, for something like holds me back from watching it. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is.
I think the stigma that I had with it was they made it look like it was going to be another Office show, but as you watch it,
Yeah.
obviously it's not.
yeah, it's not like there's a documentary crew. It's just like it's just a show that breaks the fourth
It's
wall.
just shot
yeah.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just shot similarly, and like you said, it breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
That's it.
Oh wow. Oh, when you said not much, I didn't know you meant like.
That's
one
what I
point.
meant. Not much.
Wow. Wow.
I mean,
wow.
I saw Predator last week, but I mean, we talked about
Yeah,
we
Predator
also saw
plenty.
Last Action Hero.
I was just
Oh, yeah,
gonna
we
say
did.
we watched Last Action Hero, which I have not seen. I hadn't seen probably since I was 12.
Yeah, what'd you think?
And
seeing
never in
it again?
theaters. That movie's fan-fucking-tastic.
Isn't it?
I still
Man.
need to watch it.
Oh
Never
my
seen it?
gosh.
Oh,
I think we
man.
talked about it 2 weeks ago. I haven't seen it. No.
Oh man.
The
Yeah,
original
like-
meta movie.
Oh gosh, and I
Love
had
meta.
such a great time, and I think there are things that like aren't perfect about that
No.
movie at all.
I think it's like I said. I think it's 20 minutes too long.
Yeah,
I think it goes on a little too long.
Yeah, and some of the action scenes I think are a bit sedated for how crazy the idea is.
Yeah.
like the whole thing with the crane and all of that. It
Mhm.
just feels not quite as huge and bombastic as it should be for a movie where the idea is. Yeah.
Oh my God, this guy is not dead.
Yeah, like for a movie where there's an animated cat and it's about a kid who gets sucked into an action movie, when the action scenes are like, oh, all right, that's sort of disappointing.
Well, don't forget, it's also 1993, and you've
no.
seen way cooler shit since then.
Right? No, I know. I just want to get it out there for people like Zach who are going to see it for the first time. That it's the idea and the characters that are and the humor that is so great. And fuck that, the villain in the trench coat that is awesome. That guy is scary any time period ever. He's the thing nightmares are made of.
Well, I think too.
That's what C.S. Lewis said that about the ring wraiths. So I'm stealing that.
I think people still don't get it though. It's a movie that's making fun. It's so self-aware that even Shane Black, who wrote the movie, is making fun of himself in the movie. Totally. He has Lethal Weapon moments in it. He's got the
Lethal Weapon music. Yeah. He's
2 days till retirement.
Got no time for this. I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah. I still think one of the greatest Arnold moments, him as an actor too, is that he's able to make fun of himself being in movies while he's in a movie about him being this larger-than-life action star.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the scene where he says, he hands that kid his badge, and he says, "I don't think it's like, you don't understand. You just solved the whole case in all my years in hostage negotiation, terrorists, crime scene investigation. All I have to do is drive around a neighborhood, point at some house, and say the bad guys are in there."
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's not even like there's a lot of jokes like that are very obvious, and then there's a lot of stuff that's just really like the fact that there is an action scene in the that like sewer system, the runoff, the river runoff thing that is in Terminator 3 or Terminator 2 and half of the action movies ever made. It's in the core, for God's sake.
Yep.
The fact that there's an action movie there at all is funny in its own right. That movie is just, it's brilliant. Is there a Blu-ray of that?
Yeah, I own it.
All right, I need to get me one.
I'll have to check it out.
Unfortunately, it only has a theatrical trailer on it.
God damn it.
No, they've never released a special. There's a book
should be a
about how that
Criterion.
movie bombed. I forget the name of the book, and I should buy it. But it's literally a book about the
Last
marketing.
Action Zero?
It's just probably what it's called.
Yeah.
But how they bumbled the marketing for it, and it was one of the most expensive movies ever, and it's interesting.
What a shame.
Wow. I'd like to read the book before I watch the movie. I don't know. It sounds weird. It's like it would be like reading that book about The Room before watching The Room.
I just read before we started that James Franco is going to direct a movie about the making of The Room.
Really?
That sounds amazing.
I had not heard this yet. Man.
James Franco.
He would play.
Who's gonna play Tommy Wiseau?
I'm hoping Seth Rogen.
It's
oh
Franco.
my God.
Oh hi everybody.
If he can pull it, because I've seen that guy in real life. If he can pull it off, that's an Oscar-winning performance.
It's either that or you know who they could get. Danny McBride might be a good Tommy. They'd have to get him in shape, but
Yeah.
you could definitely.
He's
Tommy.
got the weird. He could do the weirdness.
Yeah, he could definitely do that. I don't know.
I would almost see them going with a serious actor
Channing
and,
Tatum
and playing it. No,
Channing
no, I
Tatum
mean
is
like
Tommy Wiseau.
like a Sean Penn.
Oh,
Sean
that
Penn could
actually-
do it.
That could work. You'd have to.
And I
bulk
fucking
him
Why
up.
would
hate
he do it?
I fucking hate Sean Penn because he's a pretentious douche and he's not that good.
He just likes to hit.
But-
just
James
because
has
he likes
never
to
met
hit
Sean
people
Penn.
doesn't mean he's a douchebag.
yeah.
It's a sham.
I've seen I Am Sam. It's not a good movie.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
He
Super
was
Bowl.
Spicoli. We can let him go.
Yeah. Super Bowl was last week. That wasn't very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Top Gear came back this week. The first episode so far is really good. But the big thing is, I've been watching through my list of shame movies. I've been really enjoying this, and I've got so many of them now, and the list is actually getting longer faster than it's getting shorter.
So
I was going to watch two. What? What?
The list is getting longer, so I said it's turning him on.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. That was good. That was a good one. Anyway.
Can you, loyal listeners, find out the hidden penis joke that Ryan gave us today?
I say I hit it right on the head.
Send your letters to the non-prize Marvel fan club, care of Stan Lee.
We should give out non-prizes.
People loved it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. We used to hand out these things called Spider Friend.
So I only get to cross one thing off my list this week, but I think I'm gonna start doing like at least 2 a week. This week, this is one of the early ones that was put on the list, especially around the time that Wolf of Wall Street came out, because this is a Martin Scorsese movie that I've always thought, like, damn, it's really a shame that I have not seen that movie.
I know. Yeah.
So I bought the Blu-ray of Raging Bull and finally took the time to watch it. And I talked about this back when we talked about The Wolf of Wall Street, and I believe it wholeheartedly now, which is that I don't think Martin Scorsese is talking to me. I think that like I think the stories that he tells, the characters.
Sorry, he
he's
doesn't make
interested-
movies for you, James.
No. Here's the thing.
What do you want? What do you want me to do? I'll do anything.
No. What
I'm gonna keep making movies until I die until James likes one.
Camera left, camera right. Come on, James. Tell me what you want. Do you want me to put Matthew McConaughey in it again? I'll do it.
Mud 2.
Mine too.
Back to the island.
Exclusive on Slash Film. Martin Scorsese accepts deal to do Mud 2.
I just really like the story, and please, James, like me.
No, what I mean is that he's fantastic. Raging Bull is absolutely gorgeous. But I think that the stories and the characters that Martin Scorsese is interested in and is interested in telling are not stories or characters that interest me at all.
They're basically the people he grew up with.
Right, and that's the thing. If that's true, he grew up with the biggest batch of assholes on the planet. I don't like Raging Bull. Is the end point?
So
here.
do you regret buying the Blu-ray?
No. I mean, I don't.
Because
Like,
if not,
the whole
I think
point.
Trademark's getting a new Blu-ray.
And
you have to announce it in advance.
Yeah.
because basically, like, I just think that Jake LaMotta in that movie. I don't know about how he is in life, but if that movie is accurate, he's a fucking asshole, and I don't like him, and I'm not rooting for him. And unlike Rocky, where I want him to overcome the challenges by the end of the movie, I really don't give a shit what he does, because he is such a fucking asshole that I'm never in his corner.
That's why I didn't.
I didn't do that on pod. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
But I like
Yeah.
Raging Bull. But I don't like the character. You're right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, without that character, I don't know what else I'm supposed to be holding on to.
You're just kind of watching a man like kind of slowly sink into mediocrity. That's why I've always seen. You know, look at the last shot of the movie is just him looking at the mirror, just like kind of same as Boogie Nights. It's people just falling into what they're most comfortable with, or falling into self-identity, finding out who they are. Like LaMotta's got a torn side. Like, you know, he starts accepting that people see him as a monster, even though that may not be how he sees himself.
Yeah. I think the difference is that with a movie like Boogie Nights or Inside Llewyn Davis those are movies where when those moments come up, I've been rooting for that character the whole time. Mm-hmm. Like I do want them to overcome, and so even if they don't, at least that way it means something to me because I was related to that character. It's not that I'm like, well, I don't want to ever see a movie about somebody who self-destructs. I do. I like those movies. But I have to want them to not self-destruct. Whereas, honestly, halfway through the fucking movie, I wanted him to just be done. I wanted him to give up and the rest of the movie just be like him learning to not be an ass to his wife.
Okay.
Like,
sorry, I just had a thought and I wanted to pitch it.
Yeah.
I'm glad
No,
that you
go ahead.
said the rest of it. Sorry, I'm glad that you said that because it reins back my question a little bit. Would you say that there's a point, and this could go to any of you guys too, when you watch a movie where you stop rooting for any characters and just start watching it as an idea of, oh my God, this is the most interesting thing happening in the world right now, and I have to watch it. Because that's how I watch every Wes Anderson movie. There are characters in Wes Anderson movies I do not like. I do not like Fantastic Mr. Fox until the very end. Because I think he is kind of he's a crazy, eccentric, shitty dad. Absentee father. It's a theme in all of his movies, and I don't like any of his main characters, and yet I somehow still end up rooting for him because I like seeing what's unfolding in front of me a little bit.
I agree, and I think the difference there is that the story being told and the way it's being told is so interesting.
Okay.
That it is really entertaining.
So it's kind of like a 50-50 thing for you a little bit. Like,
yeah.
You say it's good, but you also think that it's...
Yeah, like if the story had been one where the events unfolding were also really fascinating, that I was invested in the plot, at least, then okay. But I think the plot is fairly threadbare and is really just relying on that character throughout the whole movie. It's really a character-driven piece, and when I don't like the character, it falls apart.
Fair enough.
Like we talked about The Counselor earlier. The Counselor is not a movie where I really like anybody in it. It's a movie where people do bad things, they make shitty decisions, and they get what they probably deserve. But the story and the mystery of what's going on is really interesting, and that drives me through it. And that's sort of what I'm attached to by the end, when all that stuff starts to fall down, and I start sort of learning the lessons I'm being taught.
Right.
I'm learning them in relationship to the plot and to these characters that sometimes I am rooting for. Like Michael Fassbender's character is sort of stupid, or he makes poor decisions, but I am kind of rooting for him because I don't realize how bad his decisions were till the end of the movie, really.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
I also see what you guys are saying. He talks too much. Now, no,
Well,
I agree
think
with you.
here's the thing. I think I need to explain this one because like I'm gonna get some shit from people when they're like,
Yeah, Robert De Niro's
how
going
do
to
you-
come break down the door and kick your ass because you didn't
Right.
like that or American
And,
Hustle.
and he's like,
Right.
talking about my movie?
You talking about my movie?
talking about
There's nobody else around here except for Ryan. He's
Yeah.
my friend.
He even likes Meet the Fockers. But you're a problem.
I don't.
It's just
I
you
don't
in a
like
corner
Meet the
going,
Fockers.
"Hi,
no,
Robert."
Yeah. Hey. No, Meet the Fockers is horrible.
Okay. Yeah.
I liked Meet the. I didn't like the Little Fockers. The
Oh my God!
third
That's right.
one.
There were 3 of
Yeah,
those.
I liked Meet the Fockers compared to whatever that third movie was. Had Harvey Keitel in it, and I'm like, 2 Scorsese people can't be in the same place at the same time. Outside of Scorsese movie, this is bad. Universe is
How
gonna
many miles
implode.
can we get out of the joke Fokker?
They see like they'll put a movie out like that, but they won't release a movie with the title "A Couple of Dicks." Like,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not saying Cop
Or
Out's the best.
Zach and
movie.
Mary make a porno.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
same year that there was a movie called, or that they wanted to make a couple of dicks, there was a movie just called Good Dick.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bullshit.
Anyway, that's what I watched this week.
So
Cool.
James further un-American.
Damn it.
James brought up the Super Bowl. I was so disappointed in the Super Bowl that I watched tons of shit because my
I want to tell a really quick story that my old boss at work.
don't bring up the Super Bowl.
No, for the same reason. He didn't like the Super Bowl, so halfway through, he and his wife left, and they went and saw I, Frankenstein. Because they needed to get something like they, and it was, apparently they actually had a really good time with it because they
Oh.
were going to watch something bad.
Oh,
like
well, I guess if you can go from I Frankenstein wasn't as shitty as a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
right, that's what
I haven't
that's
seen
what
it,
they
I
were
know
saying.
that.
Yeah.
So I watch SportsCenter. That's my way I unwind for the day. Is I watch SportsCenter. I didn't turn on SportsCenter all week because like, hey, the Seattle Seahawks. Let's talk to Russell Wilson.
Is Manning done in Denver?
Yeah. It's what's Manning's legacy? Still the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, it could be Dan Marino. You know, his last game they lost what 63-6,
72-10.
72, something like that.
Well,
But is he still one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Between those two, we give the award to the one who starred in an Ace Ventura movie. So.
That's true.
Snowflake.
So I watched a lot. I watched the first 8 seasons of Bates Motel, the first season. I saw most of the episodes, but I must have missed some in the middle because I don't remember shit from them.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you feel about the conclusion?
I haven't got to the conclusion yet.
Okay.
I think
Well,
I have to watch.
didn't you
more.
watch it on TV?
Maybe I did.
thought,
I don't know.
I thought you told me that you'd watched it before because that's when I started watching. It was right after.
I think
you
I
guys
did
recommended
again
it.
because when I was watching this first season again, I must have missed some episodes because, and they're on my DVR, so I don't know how I missed them. But I'm watching. I don't remember the shit in this show.
Yeah.
But I will say that Vera Farmiga is really good in it.
Oh, yeah.
She grows
So-
on you throughout that entire
Because
series.
you can see
I
her passive aggressiveness and her instability and her sanity.
I think everybody in that show is
Oh
great.
yeah, and even Freddie Highmore as Norman Bates.
Oh,
What's
God,
really
he's my favorite Norman right now, even more than Anthony Perkins.
well when
in
you
some
watch
ways.
him, he gets some of Anthony Perkins' mannerisms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's clearly
The
watched
way
Psycho
he-
a couple times.
the way he sits and everything. So I'm enjoying that.
Do you always find it weird that they're always watching old movies? Because I don't know what time period this show is supposed to take place
think
in.
it's
Sometimes.
modern.
I think it's modern too, but all the TV channels only have Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire
Yeah.
movies.
I think that is all very intentional. I think it's supposed to be a little unsettling. Like you're not really supposed to know what the rules of the world are
So the
because you
next-
don't know when to put it, when to place it.
The next kill scene is going to be over the audio. Pardon me, may I have this dance? I can't hear the party.
I also watched Predator 2. They got that on Blu-ray. It was another one. I love when I go in and I find Blu-rays for $4 for movies I loved as a kid. Yeah, I watched Predator 2 as a kid. And here's the thing with Predator 2. There's some really cool moments in it, but it also is kind of silly at points.
Yeah.
Where the Predator, sticks up his spear and he gets electrocuted by lightning. I don't know what that's doing. I mean, it's a cool scene when he's on top and just screaming. Gary Busey's really good in it.
He's good in everything.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
There's your killer. There he is, right there.
It's a fascinating movie.
I haven't seen it.
It's a lot more violent than I remember. I remember it
Oh,
being
yeah.
kind of violent, but it's a pretty violent movie.
Like the whole thing with all the hose and the pimps or the whatever those people in that lobby are. That when you find that crime scene, it's gross.
It's awesome.
I haven't seen it since like right before Alien vs Predator came out for the first time. I finished watching it right before going to the theater to see Paul W. Sanderson's Alien vs Predator. And I can't remember, like, is there much to Danny Glover in that movie? Like, does he have like a real story?
He's just like the hero cop. He's a guy who's fighting, the Jamaican voodoo clan and
the Jamaican voodoo clan
and the Puerto Ricans or something. I don't know who else he's fighting, or the Mexicans.
I remember it as being a movie where he just sort of follows the Predator.
Yeah, and I mean he does, but he takes off. He's pretty ripped in it, like
because
people make fun of the Predator loses to Danny Glover. He's kind of chiseled in that.
He's kind of like it's the same response that I had to Adrian Brody in Predators.
Yeah,
which I'm like, oh wow, Adrian Brody beat up the Predator.
Yeah,
good for him.
Yeah.
But it's actually, I mean, there's some pretty cool little bits in it. So they have some inconsistencies too, though, with the Predator character that's a little goofy. He doesn't kill that one girl because she's pregnant, but she has a weapon drawn on him.
I don't remember that.
I think he would still kill her.
Wait. No, I'm not thinking. I might be.
He gets off the subway and she goes back looking for Bill Paxton's character.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And she has a gun drawn on him, and he grabs her, and he doesn't kill her because she has a baby. I guess it's unfair. I don't know.
Yeah, that seems weird.
But the effects are still really awesome in it. I think the character design's amazing.
I always really liked the sort of, I think it's just fan canon that says that all the predators in the Predator movies are actually like rogues, and that real predators would never see hunting humans as being like fair sport at all. And so like the ones that come to Earth are really just sort of the assholes that can't get their fun hunting anywhere else because they're really not very good hunters. By comparison to like the real predators, you know what I'm saying?
They're like the what would be a good comparison for that?
They're like the people who go seal clubbing. They're the seal clubbers of the Predator universe.
I don't know. One of my favorite comics when I was younger was Batman versus Predator. I love Batman versus Predator. Have you ever read Batman versus Predator?
No.
It's pretty badass because the Predator comes to Gotham and he's killing people. So Batman doesn't know who he is. So he's using his detective skills to find out who's killing him. And then when he finds out that it's an extraterrestrial, he uses all these weapons. It's pretty fucking badass.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I should pick it up. It's not that there's like 3 of them. It's the first one. It came out, I think, right around Predator 2.
Huh.
I don't know what I used to have it, and I used to read it all the time because there's a badass fight at the end. Of course, this is my, 14-year-old brain. It might not be cool anymore. But I remember a badass fight at the end between the Predator and Batman because...
Turns out it's just them slow dancing.
Well, no, because the Predator uses camouflage, and then Batman used, I think, smoke bombs, so the Predator couldn't find him either.
Right.
So he was just using smoke bombs and punching them, and it was pretty cool.
I've read so many Batman, but I've never read that Batman before. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a trade of it. There has to be.
I am still waiting for Batman versus Roseanne, so...
I would read
that would be no...
I would watch. I would
No.
read that.
No.
I would read it and then make
Brad
it.
vetoed that one.
Don't ever let that happen.
I'll make it now. You're going to star in it as Roseanne.
That is a terrible choice.
My Jason Statham journey continued this week.
I'm so excited.
I watched this movie that came out last year. It's called Redemption.
Yeah. Straight to DVD or straight to Netflix.
No, it's listed on Box Office Mojo. I was looking. I think it was just in a few theaters.
Is it with Sam Jackson or
no? It's he stars as a soldier suffering from PTSD.
Really?
Because he was from Afghanistan, and so he's homeless, and then he's outrunning these guys that are beating up and killing homeless people, and he falls into this rich dude's apartment, and the guy's gone for all summer long, so he makes it his mission to redeem himself. So he cleans himself up. He gets a job working in a Chinese restaurant. And it's really slow moving. And then there's this part in the Chinese restaurant where these drunk soccer hooligans are causing trouble. And he comes out, I'm like, oh, fuck, finally. Here it is. Here's the Jason Statham kick-ass scene. And he punches 2 of them and the other guys run away. And then this girl he was dating is killed because she's a hooker by this rich guy who's met at the beginning of the movie.
Because that's what rich people do.
Yeah.
They kill hookers.
Yeah, nothing really happens in it. His redemption is, he's trying to be a better person, but then he becomes a gangster and kills people. That doesn't make any sense.
Wait,
and
really?
he bangs a nurse, a nun in it. What? Yeah.
Man, when
If
you
there's
when
one
you s-
man who could be able to bang a nun,
It's Jason
Are you,
Statham.
are you sure you didn't like black out and meld
No.
two movies together?
No, this
'Cause-
is the same movie because he finally finds out who killed his girlfriend Hooker, and he's supposed to go to the ballet at the end with a nun because the nun is going to go do mission work in Africa, and the nun says, "I'm going to be bad in London," so she fucks Jason Statham. So instead of going to the ballet with the nun, he goes to this rooftop party, and he says, "Excuse me, are you Max Harrison?" I forget the fucking guy's name. And he says, "Yeah, who are you?" And he grabs him and just throws him off the roof. That's pretty badass. And then it just
Or you Mex Harrison?
are you Rex Harrison?
I think
We're
his
gonna
name
make
is
that a character, Mex Harrison.
Max Harrison.
Local PI.
I also watched a movie called Crank 2. Have you guys seen Crank 2?
Crank
Yes! Woo! And after I saw the end of Crank 1 where he falls out of a helicopter, hits the top of a car, and hits the pavement, I'm like, how does he live?
but it's okay. He gets better.
He does. I'm like, how the fuck does this guy live? And then the beginning of Crank 2 starts with him in like 8-bit Mario falling out of a helicopter. He hits the ground, and then these Asian dudes come out of a van and shovel him off the pavement and throw him in the back of a van. And they're harvesting his organ, his heart, because it's so strong, to give to the Chinese warlord or gangster leader, who is David Carradine in heavy makeup. And it looks like this.
Can we also acknowledge that he meets the most annoying human being on the planet by the name of Bai Ling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Fuck you now.
I fuck you like Kevin Costner.
Oh my god, that movie.
is so bizarre. It's in its own world. I have
Right.
no idea what's going on, but I laughed at it.
Yeah.
Because when he gets his heart taken out, he gets an artificial heart. They want to harvest the rest of his body, and so all the nurses like pull up his things, like, "Oh, you got the big cock." And then they have this like medical chart of muscles and everything. Then there's this huge dick drawn with like a Sharpie like on it. And he fucks Amy Smart in the middle of a racetrack.
Yep.
That goes on and on and on, but it's blurred out, so you never see anything. It's
And then, like, there's that one shot where the horse goes right over Amy Smart, and you can see this big old horse dick.
Yeah.
It's this huge ass horse dick, and she's like, "Oh!"
it's so
Oh,
bizarre.
man.
And I was like,
But
well,
genuinely better than the first one,
I
right?
think the first one's pretty fun.
I think they're
but I-
they're both in, like you said, in their own world.
but then, like,
because
of
I was wondering
magic.
too. I'm like, how they? Because in the first Crank, they had this ticking clock that he had to constantly have adrenaline, or
Yeah.
he would, die. In this one, he has an artificial heart. I'm like, what are they gonna do in this one? Well, it has to be charged every hour.
Yeah, Frankenstein thing. Come on.
Yeah. So it's
yeah, because there's no battery. He just has to shoot electricity into him somehow.
It's
Yeah.
that great moment where he's rubbing up against the old woman.
Yeah, because it just goes batshit crazy. Like at one point, it turns into a Japanese Godzilla movie where there's like big animals in suits fighting each other.
And there's also a
that's
decapitated, and
right?
there's-
fuck.
Right?
Yeah, the Tojo Godzilla movie kind of thing with big old Jason Statham head.
Yeah. It's weird.
And if you look closely, Lloyd Kaufman's at the bottom, like one of the people yelling.
Is
at
it?
him. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
the movie's still fun. I mean, whatever.
Totally. It's so batshit crazy. Like I'm not a fan of the first one, but everybody needs to see the second one just to know what that movie
the
is.
deal with that severed head in that movie? That out of everything in that movie, that's the one thing that I was taken
Which
aback
severed
by. He's
head?
like,
Well,
Chelios.
It's that one dude.
Oh,
at the end.
Chelios, yeah.
No, it's one guy at the end because it's the guy who fell out of the helicopter with him.
Yeah.
And then it was his brother, and he was keeping the head alive so he could see him kill Chev Chelios.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it was
Yeah, I
there.
knew he was
Yeah.
in there, but I was still like, I couldn't
Yeah.
believe that it was like a severed head could talk. I'm like, this is the most insane exploitation movie I've ever seen in my life. They are throwing everything in
Totally.
and the kitchen sink.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
And they have the best last frame of a movie I've ever seen.
Why,
which
what
is
is it?
Which is him flipping off the screen.
Oh,
I love that. Is that
when he's on fire.
When he's on fire.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, fuck,
After
I
like
forgot
having
that.
that, and it's all to REO Speedwagon's "Gonna Keep on Loving You."
Yeah, it's the most bizarre movies you'll ever see, but they're fun.
Yeah.
I saw The Transporter, which is actually pretty badass.
Have you never seen it before?
No.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So in it, he plays a guy who drives. He's like the anti-hero. I don't know if this is a theme in his movies.
I thought Ryan Gosling was the only one allowed to drive.
Dude, it's similar to Drive.
It totally
where
is.
Yeah.
He drives around people and he says, "Oh, you know how much it's going to weigh? How far you need me to go?" And then, and so the opening is they're robbing a bank. they have one extra guy, so they have to get rid of one. They shoot him, kill him, but he gets in over his head, and the hot girl he fucks. But then there's this really badass fight scene in a bus station where he loses his shirt for some reason, and he beats up all these guys. And then there's this really big guy, and he pours grease everywhere, and he slides across and like punching him in the balls. And then he takes the bike pedals off a bike so he can walk on the grease, and the other guys can't.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It's pretty badass. The Transporter 2, he is protecting this kid, or he's driving this kid around in Miami.
So it's Man on Fire.
Yeah, exactly. It's Man on Fire.
God damn.
And so I saw Transporter 2, and he's so the first one's called The Transporter.
Right.
Transporter 2 doesn't have the in front of it anymore. It's just Transporter 2.
They were too cool for those.
Yeah. So he's driving this kid around, and it's actually kind of an interesting story where they're trying to infect people and things like that. But then again, he gets in a fight with this big dude, and he loses his shirt again. He uses his shirt. This is like a trope of Transporter movies where he gets in a fight with lots of people. They all surround him, and then they grab his jacket. He twists his jacket off, loses his shirt, and beats the crap out of him.
He does do that move a lot.
It's the most choreographed stripper routine you've ever seen.
Exactly. But it's still pretty badass. Transporter 2 was lots of fun as well. Transporter 3 was okay. I didn't like the girl in it. She was really annoying.
I thought the girl in the
she's
first
kinda
one was
cute.
annoying.
Yeah, and she's all right. But then again,
Wait. Is the second one the one with like the blonde chick with the really
Yeah,
short
blonde
hair?
chick that
Yeah.
kind of looks like pink.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think I've seen the third one.
and then he like kicks her into like the spikes. Is awesome.
Yeah.
And then the third one, he's in Europe again, and he's taking this package, and it's just phone books, but the girl is really the package, guys.
Yeah.
And
Is
yeah.
it the girl the package and all? Oh, well, except for the boy in the second
yeah,
one.
and then he's then he has to go see about getting this bomb off his car that's connected to him. If he leaves 75 feet from the car, he blows up or something.
This is the same movie.
Yeah.
Speed. It's Speed.
Yeah.
It's,
And the
It's
Transporter.
Crank and it's Transporter.
And so he goes to, his friend in Yugoslavia to get this bomb off, or this tracker, or whatever the hell they're taking out of the car. And when he gets there, he's surrounded by a bunch of guys who rip off his shirt, and he kicks their ass. And then when he's about to, this is because it's so self-aware. He beats all these guys up, and he's getting ready to leave. And then this huge guy comes in, and he goes, "Let me guess, you're the smart one." He says, "No, I'm the big one." And then he kicks that guy's ass.
Most straightforward conversation I've ever seen on film, if
Yep.
I can remember it correctly.
So that was my Jason Statham week.
The brilliance is they actually improv to those scenes.
Yeah, God.
But here's the thing. I found that I'm actually kind of really enjoying the Jason Statham movies.
He's so
they're not-
awesome. He's a man.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a real man.
They're not, I mean, they're not horrible. It's
Yeah.
just,
It's just
they're-
You
they're
have
just-
to do Death Race next.
Okay, well, it's
Death
sitting
Race
here.
is
I'll watch it
incredible.
tonight.
Yeah.
Death Race is really.
Death Race
interesting.
is like joy sprinkled with happiness.
I've
in
never
all
heard that with a
forms.
Paul W.S. Anderson movie. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's
You get
the
some Ian
only-
McShane in that deal too.
Yeah.
And some Joan Allen.
What's rated
Yeah.
PG? Oh, I got the unrated version. Cool.
Yeah. It's good. It's the only Paul W.S. Anderson movie that I think I've really liked.
Nah, Event Horizon.
Yeah, they're all right.
Event Horizon is good.
Well, see, in this one, are they trapped in something and it's underground and the only way you can get out
It's
is...
on top of the ground.
Yeah.
But it's on an island.
Yeah.
It's like it's a
All-
it's a
Islands-
maximum
all Paul
prison.
W.S. Anderson movies.
Islands are like the underground of the surface.
So, in Event Horizon, they're trapped in space on a spaceship. Resident Evil, they're trapped underground.
Yep.
Alien vs. Predator, they're trapped in a pyramid underground.
Uh-huh.
Death Race are trapped in a prison on an island.
Yep.
Seems like Paul W.S. Anderson feels very, very trapped, guys.
Oh, maybe. I haven't
Trapped in
seen
his own
Three
movies?
Musketeers, so I
in
don't
Mortal
know.
Kombat, they're trapped in a parallel dimension.
Yeah, on an island that they can't get out of.
In Three Musketeers, they're trapped in mediocrity.
I was gonna make that joke.
Yeah,
you've seen that
I
one,
am
haven't you,
winning.
James?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. It's all. Actually, Zach and I were talking about it on the way over here. It's horrible.
Yeah, they only
They
like,
repeat
with
the
the-
same set pieces.
with the exception of Christoph Waltz, it's every mediocre person from the early 2000s you can possibly remember in that movie.
Sweet.
Mila Jovovich is there. Orlando Bloom is
I like
there.
her.
I'm not
Yeah.
a big Mila fan.
She's horrible.
She was really goofy at Comic-Con one year. She like answered a question really sillily. I'm just like, this. Are you paying attention to the panel? Talk about the movie. Do not talk about this. I can't even remember what it was. But.
I don't know. People at conventions ask stupid questions.
Oh, yeah.
That's very true.
I'd get driven crazy.
Hell, people at film festivals ask stupid questions.
Oh,
Yep.
don't get me started on that.
Oh my god.
This week, guys, we went and saw the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zach, should people go see the Lego movie?
you know, I didn't even know this movie existed until about right before I was about to come back to Colorado to film our movie, and I saw the trailer for it. I immediately called up Brad and I said, I don't care if I love or hate this. I have to come on here to review this movie because I couldn't believe it existed. This film is so brilliantly done that I'll just get it out of the way. I love Batman and I love seeing all these DC characters together in one room because it's the first time we're ever really seeing Justice League on a big screen. Closest we'll get for a couple of years. I thought that movie was so brilliant. It's kind of like the Fantastic Mr. Fox of CGI for me, because it's so bizarre and different, and there are moments in the whole not in the plot of the movie that are spoilers, but they're just one-off gags. But everything is sewn together so brilliantly, and then to add in what they do for the third act is so incredible. Like, you cannot believe that what's essentially a toy commercial is that entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everybody in the cast is brilliant. The directors, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, I believe that's who they are. They are 3 for 3 for me because they did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which I was entertained by, more kiddie side. Then they did 21 Jump Street, which is comic gold, and then this. Like, they can't do any wrong.
So people should go see the movie,
Yeah, absolutely.
James.
Absolutely.
James, should people go see this movie?
So I was biased from the beginning because, of course, I grew up like a huge Lego kid. Mm-hmm. You know, my parents' house has a room full of Legos in it. So
you might have seen if you watched Real Nerds Pod Show episode 4.
Yeah,
yeah, we see.
It's true. And so from the first trailer, when you saw that there was the space guy with the old space helmet that was broken in exactly the place that piece always broke, I was like, okay, they got the details down. And I don't think that I have just smiled from beginning to end in a movie so much since like Scott Pilgrim. I adore this movie. It is both visually like it's hard to even take in how much stuff is going on, and the story is fantastic. I couldn't even believe where they took it. So yeah, it's not just like a yes, you need to see it. It's a you need to go see it in theaters.
I love how this started like 3 years ago. It's like, yeah, we should go see that movie. And now every time we do it, James goes on and on and on about the movie.
I love how every time that we do this, Ryan has that exact same little sentence about
I've never said
3
that
years
before.
ago. You say it every week.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I like how 20 years from now, I'm just going to be like, remember this classic Real Nerds moment? Sell those tapes for $9.95 over the phone.
Brad, should people go see the Lego movie?
I don't know if I'd call it brilliant, but it's definitely a lot of fun. And that's all I have to say before we go to the trailer.
Cool. I have 2 words. Everything's awesome.
Oh.
Good morning, apartment. Ready to start the day. Jumping jacks, hit 'em. 1, 2, 3. I am so pumped up. Yes, overpriced coffee.
That's $37.
Awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love this song.
It's cool when we're part of the team. Everything is awesome.
Ah, no, guys, wait up. Where am I?
Come with me if you want to not die.
What is happening?
You're the special. And the prophecy states that you're the most important person in the universe. That's you, right?
Yes, that's me.
Relax, everybody. I'm here.
Pac-Man? Awesome!
Who are you here to see?
I'm here to see your butt.
Oh my gosh!
Pow. Wham. First try.
My fellow master builders.
Hello.
Lord Business plans to end the world as we know it. There is yet one hope. The special has arisen.
I know what you're thinking. He is the least qualified person to lead us. And you are right.
A house divided against itself would be better than this.
Abraham Lincoln! I'm not the special. I'm just a regular, normal guy.
You have the ability to be the special because I believe in you.
Robots, destroy him!
Aloha, loser!
We'll wing it. It's a bat pun. Take him to the melding chamber.
Isn't there supposed to also be a good cop?
Hi, buddy. Would you like a glass of water?
Yeah, actually.
Too bad. We are entering your mind.
What?
I don't think he's ever had an original thought.
That's not true. Introducing the double-decker couch. so everyone could watch TV together and be buddies.
That is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Let me handle this. That idea is just the worst.
To the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet! Dang it.
See, I got a better reaction from that, guys, and you guys blabbering on 5 minutes about this hidden jokes. Fuck you guys.
James, we should just like retire into a corner and just talk about the movie ourselves.
But what this movie is about about this everyday man named Emmett, and he is tasked with saving Lego World from Will Ferrell's Mr. Businessman.
Lord Business.
Lord Business.
He is a Lego.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a Lego.
I didn't know that.
No,
Yeah.
I mean Bennett or Emmett is.
Oh yeah,
in the movie
Emmett
he's a Lego.
They're all Lego characters.
Everybody in the movie's a Lego. That's the first part.
It's called the Lego Movie, dude. Everyone knows that.
No, it could have just been about somebody trying to save Legoland.
I know he's talking
The
about.
fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I was just saying.
Continue
anyway.
the review.
Oh wait,
Damn.
I know what he's saying, and
Yeah.
that would be a terrible movie.
Oh yeah, the way
we
the way
have
that
to save Legoland.
the way that
guys,
Ryan just
for
explained that
closure.
you could have taken that as like them all being real people, and that they anyway.
If
Sorry,
they
go ahead.
tried to do that movie, I'd be
We
like, that is
prefaced the
ballsy.
review with we're reviewing the Lego movie. Why would anyone think that we're not talking about Legos?
Brad, thank you for not making me feel stupid and making these guys or James. Anyway, so the movie's really cute. There's what I loved about this movie is what I like about a lot of movies, whether it's Hot Shots or Airplane, is they were really well aware of what they were making, and they made those jokes. You know, the part where Morgan Freeman is talking at the beginning about the prophecy, and then at the end he says, it has to be true because it rhymes. You know, jokes like that are, to make them land, it takes real talent and comedic timing.
Yeah.
And that everybody was on board, and all the voice actors understood what they were doing. There wasn't, they're all big stars, but sometimes when you see an animated movie, Shark's Tale, and you have really big stars doing it, you can tell that's who they are, and they're only, saying the lines.
Yeah.
Right.
This movie, everybody bought into it. And I think it shows throughout the whole film. And what's going on screen is astounding.
It's just incredible how
The
they were able
world
to do it.
is unbelievable. To get a feel of these characters, here's a scene with Emmett talking to Wild. What's her name again?
Wild Style.
Wild Style.
Or is that her name?
Or is it? It's a really funny, cute scene.
He's gonna ram us! Quick, that piece! Give me that piece! Build a ramp! What the heck?
Rest in pieces.
Oh no.
Wait, no.
What the? Relax, everybody. I'm here.
Batman!
What's up, babe?
Babe!
What?
Oh, sorry, Batman. This is Emmett. Emmett, this is my boyfriend, Batman.
I'm Batman.
That's your boyfriend?
Hey, babe.
What?
Let's hold hands.
So, hey guys, I think we're about to crash into the sun.
Yeah, but it's gonna look really cool.
I think that's on there. I haven't looked yet.
No.
But I do too love Liam Neeson's Good Cop, Bad Cop.
Hey, buddy.
And because there's a joke in it that you think would get old where he's like kicking chairs and throwing chairs, but it's still really funny. And then when they get away and he throws a chair out of his like helicopter and he gets out and that one guy's like, uh-oh, and he starts running away. They never change the camera angle.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson's Bad Cop throws the chair and he's like, and like 10 seconds later it hits that guy.
Right before that, he has my second favorite line of dialogue in the movie, which is darn, darn, darny, darn, darn, darn. Just hearing Liam Neeson say childish things is hilarious.
Wait a minute, is there supposed to be a good cop, bad cop? Hey, buddy, do you want a glass of water?
Too bad.
Too bad.
So good. Oh man.
And just the whole, let's lock hands, I guess is a metaphor for fucking. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Way to make it dirty. No, it was adorable.
Yeah.
It's because they love each other.
Sure.
Really, you shouldn't love somebody at first sight.
you can't love anybody.
I can't. I'm cold-blooded.
Yeah,
Murder
and then
me.
Batman shows up.
And Batman
Batman, best part of the movie.
And Batman is, as Emmett says, the worst human being I've ever met.
you like my speakers? They're dark.
Did you hear the song that was playing where he's like,
brilliant.
"Dead parents, super rich." I was like, I want that in the next Batman movie.
And what's
Bruce Wayne? Who is that guy? He sounds cool.
But see,
He looks like kind of like Christian Bale a little bit, which I thought was nice.
but it's funny too because they have those jokes, and it's good for kids because it's really colorful and goofy.
Yeah.
But adults too will get the humor of, Superman comes in and sees Green Lantern, and nobody likes Green Lantern. They're making fun of Green Lantern's movie. Nobody likes it, and it's really pretty impressive.
Anybody have any kryptonite for me?
Fun little trivia. It's Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill talking
Yep.
to each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get a little 21 Jump Street and 21 and a half Jump Street.
Yes.
For your money.
And-
Honestly, Jonah Hill's Green Lantern better than Ryan Reynolds' Green
Yeah, I
Lantern.
agree. Hi.
Hey, Ruby.
Hey.
I like where he's like, "I got you, Superman." No. Oh, now my hands
With
are
the
stuck.
gum.
Now my legs are stuck.
Oh man.
Well, and I know this movie worked too because my wife isn't a big fan of comedies. Like she likes goofy stuff, but that my wife was laughing in the movie, I knew that this movie worked on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
And
It's
what's funny
just
is
so
that we were
quick.
laughing louder than anybody in that
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah.
If anybody, I heard more laughter from our little pocket than any of the. No kids were laughing
No.
at that movie.
Yeah, and I'm almost worried that like the movie is too smart for its own good because the jokes are really intelligent and they come so fast that you've really got to be paying attention because they come and they go, which may have to do with a lot of the fact that they're Lego jokes, like because they'll just be like funny little things that'll fly off or little details that you can catch. That it almost makes me worried that like an 8-year-old would watch this movie and be like, I don't really know what's going on.
It's weird though. It's still
but
going
I
to
think
be number
it'll
one.
work. Yeah.
Still gonna be number one at the box office.
Oh,
which is
totally.
strange.
And here, at the same time, I also think that kids are really smart and will get it.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those that even for kids, they're going to want to see it multiple times before they're really like, before they realize what all is going in. Because the same is true for me. Like, I want to go see it again because I know I missed a lot of stuff.
Right.
And it's neat to see a movie for kids that is that advanced.
It made me feel weird because there was this moment in the movie. Like, we're in spoiler
Yeah,
area
yeah,
right
yeah.
now. There's this. It's my favorite. One of my favorite moments in the movie is they're talking about they need a hyperdrive engine in order to get to the Lord Business's building, and Batman's going like, What are we supposed to do? It's not like a hyperdrive engine is just going to magically appear on some spaceship going, "Are you kidding me?" And the Millennium Falcon shows up in the window.
Yeah. And what the great part is too is it's Harrison Ford, Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, but do
who's the guy who plays
kids even
C-3PO?
know? Like, do kids like? I think kids these days are more aware of the prequel trilogy
Oh,
than
yeah.
they are.
Probably,
so
but
the kids aren't. I don't know
they
if kids
know.
are gonna get Han Solo. They're gonna get.
They're
Chewbacca.
going to know. Yeah, they're going to see the Falcon and know what it is.
Well, too, the follow up to that bit is funny too, where Batman's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go party with these guys," and he leaves.
Babe, if you want this relationship to work out, you need to let me hang out with random strangers.
And he leaves, and then they have this moment where Wildside is talking to Emmett, and he says, "He was no good for you. He was such a jerk." And then all of a sudden, he's in the background with a hyperdrive, like, "Hey, buddy, we're just talking about how great you were."
Hyperdrive engine.
Yeah.
There's also that great line where they're around a bunch of sparkly in the Cloud Cuckoo Land, and it's just a bunch of like sparkly things dancing around Batman, and he just goes, "I hate this place."
And what's funny is like I genuinely really liked Emmett. Like I thought he was a fun character and I was really rooting for him. But and maybe I'm stupid, but I honestly wasn't sure how he was ever going to do anything. Like, because they really sell up how much he is just not good at anything and how bland he is. That like at a certain point I was like, okay.
Which fuck those
No,
characters.
really.
I want a double decker
No,
couch.
really, yeah. Like, how is he really gonna save the day? And then the double decker couch. You started seeing it, but you're like, yeah, he's not really doing anything. But the way they work it all in is really neat.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, because
and the
I
lesson
mean,
that they end up
we
teaching
can,
with that
yeah,
is
we
cool.
can say the huge twist at the end is actually I kind of picked it up really early.
When they show the hand in his mind, and that hand comes up, and I was like, "Oh, so humans exist." My first thought was like, "They're not gonna." I never believed they were gonna do what they did, though.
Really, I did. I had a really big feeling that. I mean, I obviously didn't think his dad was the one who was stifling his imagination.
Yeah.
But there was someone who was stifling this kid's imagination, and what makes you're worried about Emmett, but too the kid was Emmett, and is his
Right.
growing through the whole process of, rediscovering who he is. Yeah, you might not be special, but that's because someone told you you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be the one who's special. And, it's actually really heartfelt at the end, where his dad is, telling him, you can't do this, you can't do that. And he's like, why? Why can't you do that? You can't take Legos from a dragon and put them in the city and things like that. And then they left a little magical thing because Emmett moves and falls off the desk.
That was a funny scene where you just see him kind of like on moving on the desk.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
That was the most heartfelt Will Ferrell performance I've ever seen, by the way.
I think it may be the thing I like him in the most ever. Honestly,
even as Lord Business too. He's funny as Lord Business.
Oh yeah. I think as Lord Business,
the polish
he's really
remover
great.
of Niall.
Yeah. Oh, all his names.
Dramatic entrance.
Exact zero knife.
Exact zero. That took me a while to get.
Oh man, yeah, it was fantastic. And then when poor bad cop draws like Sharpies his good cop face back on. Yeah, and visually the movie is just gorgeous.
Oh, it's stunning.
Like the way they did that animation, I think
because it kind of looks stop motiony.
Right, and
I think it's half and half. I was reading it's half and half.
Yeah.
Where it's
because some of it is very smooth, like the people move pretty smooth, but things like now the one that doesn't work as well for some reason for me is the ocean. Like for some reason the ocean was kind of hard to look at, and even Rafe and Lisa who were with us said the same thing.
It'd be a weird 3D watch, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
because it kind of looks a little stilted to me, but it's kind of like it makes sense for.
Like I knew what
plastic.
they were going for. It was just hard to make sense of. But man, there's just so many details in the background, and it's so moving so fast. The fact, as a Lego fan, the fact that Octan is the bad guy, I loved that the whole time. Every time I saw Octan on the screen, I just thought, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" Oh. Yeah.
There's lest we forget the most limited movement in the movie comes from probably one of the funniest parts of the movie is Morgan Freeman comes back as a ghost. And it's just him on a piece of string.
Yes. Oh my god, that was so
I didn't have
good.
time to tell you this because I died.
Yeah.
Ooh. his creepy ghost is hilarious.
Yeah.
My wife wanted you guys to know that her favorite part was when Benny built his spaceship.
Spaceship.
And went,
Yes.
Spaceship.
Yeah, Charlie Day. As soon as I heard Charlie Day's voice, I was excited, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is good! This is gonna be good."
That was an adorable character, and you can see like you and I were talking about it in the car. It's clear that you can see that the helmet is broken and the place that those helmets always break.
Yeah.
And it looked like the original '80s space guy.
Yeah. In fact, okay, so I have that guy, and his chest is also worn in the way that piece would wear a lot, where like the paint would sort of wear off in a line across. Yeah. That movie
So what would it take
brilliant.
you not to like this movie, James? Because it touched home with you so much.
It would take a lot. Because not only is it that I love Legos, but man, I thought I was gonna get teary-eyed near the end. I didn't quite.
I did too.
But there was a moment where I was like, okay, if you guys push this a little bit harder, you could break me. But yeah, no, it would take a lot.
I mean, they've already announced a sequel, so
even the fact like there is a dance sequence like the ones that I hate in a lot of modern kids movies, but even that they are kind of making fun of because when the construction guys are doing the "Everything Is Awesome" song, like that song is kind of making fun of a lot of that silly shit that we see in other generic derivative kids movies.
Well, you know who sings it, right?
No,
The Lonely Island.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
funny.
it makes perfect sense.
Oh, yeah, that's really good.
I was like wondering, like, what's that song going to sound like? And they were like, "Everything is awesome." I get it now.
Yeah, I had heard bits of the song beforehand, but I hadn't looked up who it was.
There's a great moment in that movie that like solidified it for me, which was you had just done the sound effect, but it's when they're showing how people transported great distances, and it's just going.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there were funny little details near the end.
Sound
like
design in that movie is key.
Yeah. But when like they do the wide shot of the top of the building coming off, and it's clearly just small Legos.
Yeah.
The way that like little kids would do that if they were filming it, and then you see the close up of the big one, and it's made of a lot of Legos, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just really neat, cool details.
This is the first movie that I've seen that honestly kind of addresses the next generation of filmmakers in a weird way. if you think about it, like that movie looks like a lot of YouTube videos in some ways. Like
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
fantastic and beautiful, but it also is reminiscent of like all those shorts that we were watching right in front of the Alamo Drafthouse screening stuff.
Right.
So I was just like, that's kind of cool. They're kind of like paying homage to like that little movie camera set. Like, you remember where they had
Yeah.
that Spider-Man camera one
Yeah.
that you could get for Legos? That was always cool, and they kind of pay homage to it with the little camera turning.
Yeah.
Ends up being a security camera, but still.
Yeah. No, the movie's fantastic.
Love it.
It's just
It is.
Now here's a question, because you bring up the sequel. Would you want them to make a sequel that has Emmett in it? Or like would a sequel be that same kid fighting his sister's Legos or whatever, or would a sequel
duplex?
would a sequel be a different kid's problems and a different kid's
I think
world?
you have to. I think the only problem with the reveal at the end is the sequel's really hard now.
Yeah, right.
Because
If
now
you
you've
do that
established that it's in the kid's imagination, like
Yeah.
So now the sequel's difficult.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they can figure something out, but
Like, they'll figure something out that'll work for what it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as brilliant as this one was,
I
because
mean, because it
we
can't
don't
circle-
have that element of surprise.
Yeah, exactly. I think I would be the one to vote that it's a different kid. That you have a different kid with a different set of problems, and maybe that means different stories, where maybe it doesn't have Emmett in it.
As long as they all have Batman in it, I'm fine.
But as long as they all have like those kind of
did you see
callbacks and characters.
the
like
quick flash to Speed Racer? Anybody? When it
No.
was flashing through all the Lego sets, and there was a Speed Racer one.
Oh
Yeah,
really?
I saw that one, and actually, if you look when the Titleist ball rolls down that hill in Cloud Cuckoo Land, you could see Indiana Jones running away from the Titleist ball.
really?
Yeah, you get so small, but you see him, and he's got the whip, and he's going.
It's shit like that. I need to go see this movie again right now.
I liked it. I don't know who said it in the movie, but they go Titleist.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Cool.
It's great.
Next week is Valentine's Day, guys. What's our date movie?
RoboCop.
Is RoboCop next week?
I think so.
I'm seeing it on Wednesday.
It's on-
Screw you guys.
Is it? I didn't know
Fine.
RoboCop was next week. I actually
I'll
bought,
hold hands in the theater with Ryan instead.
Cool.
So-
My Predator 2 came with
Brad,
a
you
free
and I
ticket
hold
to
hands on
RoboCop.
Wednesday. Fuck those
Really?
people.
Yeah.
Weird.
There's no romantic comedies, or like there's no
Yeah, there
Gary
is. There's
Marshall.
gotta be.
There's a Kevin Hart one.
Again?
Of course.
I'm serious. It's called like they showed previews for it like last year. I forget what it's called, but there's
About Last Night?
about last night.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah, it's a remake of a really good movie. Go see the original one, guys.
So,
or go see RoboCop.
Yeah.
Or RoboCop.
So we'll be seeing RoboCop. That'll be awesome. I was worried there was going to be a movie I wanted to see, but now I know RoboCop is there. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah, I think we're through a lot of the drought.
Yeah, I think so too. It's starting to pick up.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all uphill till we get to Captain America.
Yes.
Captain America, and then what else is coming out? Yeah, I guess that is technically the first big release of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Can't think of anything for March.
Yeah, 300. Looks interesting.
No, that doesn't count.
I think it looks interesting.
Looks okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Check it out.
Bye.
Bye.
Suck my balls. Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find him on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.